chances, and nobody gets
Right.
out.
What's up, everybody? Let me know how the mic sounds. Let me know how the camera looks. Salute to you all. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Happy December 8th. It is a beautiful Monday. It is a very, very, very beautiful Monday where I am at. I kind of want to end the live stream and go out and enjoy the day, but I'm not going to do that because I know a lot of you guys are listening while you are working, listening while you are at the gym, listening while you are doing whatever it is you are doing. Some of you might even be at the food pantry line, getting food. I have no idea, man. But nevertheless, wherever you are in life, salute to you all. I'm sending positivity at the speed of light to you. Leaked is in the building, says the Frank Zanu guy is smarter than most people. He really is, Leaked. He's a very, very smart guy. I am just now becoming hip, if you will, to his notoriety. Supposedly he's been around for many years, but this guy is an incredible intellect. He is me, just without the cursing. N-words need to pay or take notes and pay attention. Salute to you, man. Leak positivity is definitely coming your way at the speed of light. We got John Small in the building. Salute to you, John Small. Positivity is definitely coming your way. We got Mr. Wise Guy. Salute to you, Mr. Wise Guy. Who else do we have? We have Southern Jeans in the building. What's up, Southern Jeans? We have Self-Taught is in the building. Shifty says CT, the Frank of his generation. There we go. Who else do we have in the building, man? We have L in the building. L says Aphrodite is hilarious. Salute to you, L. Positivity is coming your way. Big Dog, what's up? Big Dog, did you see Shador throw for 97 yards, 4 touchdowns? The kid is an incredible athlete. Maybe a franchise possibility for the Browns franchise quarterback. And I have to say this, man. He was robbed. He was robbed of that draft pick. He should have been in number 1. He should have been overall at this point because he's doing far better than Cam Ward. Guys, get the likes up, share the video. Positivity is definitely coming your way. The infamous Martyr says, my current situation while listening to UCT is I'm about to not pay for my breakfast and run out. Dining and dashing. Look at you. I wouldn't suggest that, but hey, man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We got Michael in the building. Fujitsu, salute to you, buddy. Says, good afternoon, everyone. We have Skywalker says, CT Shador is nothing but another version of Jameis Winston, who also is a good quarterback. Skywalker, you are totally underestimating. You don't seem, I know you are a Cowboys fan, so I can't really say that you are hating, but Shador is definitely not going to be holding the clipboard anytime soon. The kid is an incredible quarterback. You got to give it to him, man. He was the first quarterback or rookie quarterback this season to throw for over 300 yards. The kid is incredible. Salute to Shador Sanders, by the way. I've always had his back. Nobody could ever say I said anything about Shador. Let me see. L says Skywalker was punching the sky yesterday. He was, yeah. Skywalker was punching the air like Trey was in Boys in the Hood. Oh yeah, that's how salty he was yesterday. Skywalker was, but yeah, I already read that one, guys. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Who else do we have in the building? Mr. Gullery says, Mr. Wise Guy. Okay, let me see. Trump. Okay, Trump didn't lie about Somalia, but how can African immigrants give FBA any advice? But all their countries are S-holes. We're gonna talk about that later. The infamous Marty Marr. Once again, salute to you, man. We got Badass in the building. Salute to you, Badass. Says, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Listening while working. Salute. The Browns suck. Well, the Browns do suck. I'm not going to lie to you. The Browns suck. We do have an incredible defense. But it's always room for improvement, Badass. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Big Dog says, I did see T, 364 yards and 3 TDs. Who else do we have in the building, man? We have Rita in the building. Salute to you, Rita. Positivity is definitely coming your way, guys. Get the likes up, share the video, guys. I also wanted to give you guys a bit of advice, man. I've been doing this a lot lately, chopping up onions, garlic, chopping up onions, garlic, chopping up olives, particularly the big olives. Chopping them up, putting them in a tuna, mixing it, putting olive oil and vinegar in, and eating unsaltine crackers. Guys, that is a power food. It is a very, very power food. If you've been drinking, a lot of you guys are alcoholics. And clearly, some people are calling into the panel clearly intoxicated. But if you ever want to detox or just feel good overall, chop up white or red onion, chop up garlic, chop up green, some olives, regular olives, put olive oil, not vegetable oil, but olive oil and vinegar into this mix. And also add hot sauce or lime juice, if you will. And that is a power food for you guys. Get the likes up. Mr. Wise, guys, salute to you. Nay is in the building, says time for your raw onion and garlic challenge. I should do that again. Badass says, CT, I bet your pores stink. Onions and garlic. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I don't know. I know I farted the other day and it was absolutely horrid. I'm not gonna lie to you. And obviously it's because of what I was eating. Guys, get the likes up here. We have in the building, man. Let's see. Yeah, Yeti in the building. Who else is in the building for today? We got Gary. What's up, Gary? Salute to you, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Shifty says, when I graduated, we played this game online. Why? Okay, I'm not gonna read that, guys. Get the likes up, man. Seven Still, salute to you, man. Says audio is good. Thank you so much, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way. We have Chris in the building. Says, I'm a tap dancing mother. I was talking about what Be Brave is saying. We're gonna have a good show today, guys. Email me if you want the link. While I do the I'm going to go over a video about this incredible African man. He's from Benin. His name is Frank Zanu. And Frank Zanu is pretty much me, just older, and he doesn't swear. It's pretty much me. He is a fellow Negro whisperer like me. And he's been put a one in the chat if you've heard of Frank Zanu. I know there was a comment from somebody who had said that they are familiar with Frank Zanu, but he is pretty much me, just a little bit older. I just got hip to him, like I said earlier today, a couple of weeks ago, and he is an incredible intellect, especially when it comes to the Black diaspora. Right is in the building. What's up, Right Pro, with the $5 super chat? Thank you so much, man. Positivity is definitely.
Must be the Monday that's got them on my side. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday. I'm never going wrong. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday that keeps me looking fly. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday that's got me cruising in style.
Right Pro says, did you agree with the draw decision in the Roach versus Cruz fight? At Mulatto, is he in the building? I didn't even know that there was a boxing match. Yeah, okay, yeah, Lamont Roach, yeah, okay. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that there was a pay-per-view fight this weekend. Didn't even watch it. Yikes, guys, get the likes up. Thank you so much, Right Pro. I probably you will have to remind me to bring this back up when Mulatto calls back in today, if he calls back in. Guys, get the likes up, share the video. Antoine is in the building. Right Pro, thank you so much for this $5 super chat, man. I really, really appreciate that. Guys, get the likes up, share the video. Just remember, guys, if you want a super meal, and a meal that will definitely have you feeling really good afterwards. I'm telling you guys, I've been doing this for the past couple of weeks. I don't even know why I came up with this in my head, but just chopped onion, chopped garlic, chopped olives, grape olives, vinegar, lime juice, unsaltine crackers, and add some hot sauce. It is, and tuna, right? It is a really, really good power food, to be honest with you. It's really good. Guys, get the likes up, share the video. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Right in the chat what you did this weekend, guys. Mano says, no, CT is the Godfather. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, get the likes up. Hey, Skywalker, by the way, buddy, I know, man. I know you're a Cowboys fan. I know in the 90s you were used to winning. But Shador, man, I know that you were sitting back, you and other people sitting back, hoping that Shador will be walking around the sideline with a clipboard all game. But that ain't happening. That ain't happening. No, that ain't happening. And I really believe if Stefanski had kept him in, they would have won the game. Now, that's stupid. I don't know all the names of these stupid plays. But going for the 2 and not allowing Shador to stay in was a mistake on Stefanski's part. And Stefanski will be fired. Dylan will be traded. I doubt Watson will come back and play in 26 for the rest of the season or whatever. It's over, man. I think they're going to get rid of Watson too, man. I think Shador is going to be the franchise quarterback. And that's what I would love to see. Get the likes up. Share the video. Let's see. S1 says, CT, I didn't know that you were a vegan. No, I am not a vegan. No, not at all. I am not a vegan. No, I am not a vegan. I enjoy what is it? Omnivore? I'm an omnivore. Is it an omnivore? I think it's omnivore, right? When you eat both meat and vegetables. Let me see. I know, man, what is it? I think it's omnivore, right? Yeah, a person or an animal that eats fruit, food, or both plant and animal origin. Yes, I'm an omnivore. Yeah, I'm an omnivore. Yes. Guys, get the likes up. We got Black Bear in the building, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Skywalker says CT Dion will be the coach coming soon. I don't know, bro. I don't think that Dion can coach an NFL team. Who the hell am I to say so? I'm just a guy, right? I didn't play in the NFL. I never even played football. Can he coach in the NFL? I have no idea. He seems to be more of a mentor to younger kids, teenagers and young men in their 20s. I don't know if he can coach 30-year-old men. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't call that one. But I am a big Dion fan. Let me see. Questions to ponder says, you are a carnivore that sometimes eat veggies. Laugh out loud. You are an American, CT, and you are black. We eat meat. Yes, we do. We do eat meat. And guys, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but when they make jokes about Africans eating bushmeat, Africans really don't have a meat diet. And if they do, that is relatively a new thing. Africans generally didn't have a meat diet, to be completely honest with you. That is a new thing for all of you people who make very, very racist jokes about the Africans. Let me see. Young and Blessed says, CT, Cleveland owes him too much money to sit Deshaun or buy him out. They might have to give him another chance. Yeah, they got to pay. I think they owe him like $100 million. So yeah, you could be right about that one, Young Bless. Salute to you, man. Positivity is coming your way. Let me see. Antoine says, this Ninja CT is a Browns fan. Go Bucks. Oh, yeah. Just say thank you the next time. Just say thank you, Twine. last time I checked, you have one of our former quarterbacks. So just say thank you, buddy. Say thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Who else do we have in the building, man? Let's see. Dookie is in the building. Says, laughing my ass off. I'm trying not to comment, but you are setting them up, CT. We got Gimpy in the building. Salute to you, Gimpy. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Big Dog Physique says, sounds like an ancient Nigerian dish to me, CT. Respectfully. I don't know. It could be, man. It's very powerful, man. I know you work out. So, I mean, it's a very powerful meal, man. I've been eating that like the past 2 weeks straight. Let's see. Who else do we have? We have Dahomey in the building. Salute to you, Dahomey. Hey, guys, if you can't hit the like button, guys, before I get into the main topic. Also, if you would like the link, just email me. And also, guys, if you happen to be on your computer, go to another tab and have the video playing all day. Let's get the watch time hours up. Salute to you all, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way at the speed of light. Did anybody hear, before I get into the main topic, did anybody hear Biden the other day? Question to ponder. You know what I'm talking about. Here, hold on for a second. Let me play it real quick. Did anybody hear Biden the other day? Hold on for a second. Question to ponder says, I watch you on the MacBook and the iPhone. Oh, yeah. So you probably can't keep a tab. But when you watch pretty much all day. Thank you so much. The infamous Marty Marr says, I've heard on Tariq's channel that some Africans admit that they eat bushmeat, CT. The African diet never really had a lot of meat, man. So I don't know where all of this bush meat comes from. You know, maybe they do now, but the Africans really never ate a lot of meat. Your typical African doesn't eat a lot of meat, to be honest with you. Yeah. Eating a lot of meat is a very European, that's a very European concept or diet, not concept, but diet, to be completely honest with, not shock jock and not being funny, but that's not really a, typically Africans, Asians, East Indians had a very plant-based diet, to be honest with you. That's why a lot of Africans, you don't really see fat Africans, if you ever notice that. There's no fat Africans, man. Let me see. Leak says that's because most humans used to have to hunt for their meat. Yeah, that is true. Antoine says, thanks, Mr. Baker. Oh, okay. He says, Baker Mayfield be cooking. Here we go.
Must be the money, must be the money. I've got so much blame. Must be the money, must be the money. 26 without this wealth. Must be the money, must be the money. That funds my lifestyle. Must be the money, must be the money. The party's at my place.
Thank you so much, Antoine. I really appreciate this super chat, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way, buddy, at the speed of light. The homie says fufu and rice. There's more to an African diet than fufu and rice. Get the likes up, share the video, guys. Positivity is coming your way, guys. Get the likes up, guys. Big Dog says $46 million this year is what Deshaun Watson is owed. Can you imagine being the owner of these teams and got to pay these players who don't even play? I mean, Deshaun Watson has been out for what, 3 years now? You got to get his dude $50 million, man. Let's see. And then, here's my argument too. Deshaun could say, you know what, I didn't really play this year, to the owner. Why don't you take $5 million of that and give it to the practice team, the practice squad or something, man, put some incentive for them to practice harder or something, or for the guys making the league minimum or something. He could do that, but these people, that's what I would do because I'm so nice. But then again, I've never made that kind of money, so I wouldn't know what I'd do if I had that kind of money, that kind of Skrilla, if you will. Skywalker says Cleveland just lost to the worst team in the NFL. Damn, Skywalker. But the last time I checked, they had the number 1 overall draft pick as a quarterback. So, I mean, did they really lose to the worst team in the NFL? I mean, Cam Ward he was the overall. I mean, you got to admit, Shador is playing the number 1 overall quarterback. So, How bad did the Browns do? Yes. Let's see. Swish is in the building. Says BD simping for Africans when today's show is about to be Africans pissing on blacks all day. That is not necessarily true. Avera C says, was really goody, my brother. Thank you so much, man. I do not speak Ebonics. Sorry, Avera C. I know, yeah, I don't speak Ebonics. Raheem says, no one sets a good example. Trump about to get all y'all ashy foots up out of here. Hopefully he could give you a hooked on phonics book, bro. I mean, come on, man. Right? Proper English, buddy. Come on, Raheem. Younger Bless says, when have you known an FBA to do anything moral like that? Deshaun is taking that money. He's going to the next massage parlor. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but Deshaun Watson had an incredible, not incredible as in a good way, but a horrible sex scandal. He was going to massage parlors asking them to, you figure out the rest, guys. Get the likes. I want this video to stay on public, so I got to be very careful here. Big Dog Physique with the $5 super chat. Can you do a reaction on a debate between Dave Anderson and the African brother named Frank sometime this week? It was a very good debate. That's what I'm doing today, Big Dog Physique. That's what I'm doing today, buddy. Let me give you a must be the money, man. Salute to you. That's the debate.
Must be the money. I've got so much blame. Must be the money. Must be the money. 26 with all this wealth. Must be the money. Must be the money that funds my lifestyle. Must be the money. Must be the money. The party's at my place.
Get the likes up, guys. Share the video, man. Thank you so much, Big Dog. But yeah, Big Dog, I'm doing that breakdown today. Let's see here. Going back to thank you so much, Big Dog. I really appreciate this super chat, man. Guys, give Big Dog Physique, Twan, and Right Pro a big thumbs up, $ emoji. Thank you so much. Let me go back to what Young Blessed says. He says that FBAs aren't really moral enough to do that. Man, dude, could you imagine if Deshaun Watson did that? Could you imagine if LeBron took the veteran salary? Imagine if LeBron James took the veterans. It ain't like he needs the I mean, I'm not going to say it ain't like he needs the money, but imagine if LeBron said, you know what? I don't need this $50 million. I mean, I make $50 million in a damn day, depending on advertising. But here, I'm going to give it back to the owner. I'm going to give $40 million to the owner, and you put that into the younger guys and give them incentives to play harder. So if you do this, we give you the bonus. Man, that'd be some nice stuff. That'd be absolutely nice if he did that, but he probably won't do it. So whatever. Let me see, guys. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video, man. Guys, go over to Just the Guys podcast and subscribe, man. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Swish once again, man. Salute to you. What up is in the building. I see folks in the middle of the mall getting massages. Big Dog Physique says, my bad. I thought this was a reaction from the show you were on last night with Sharon. No. Taz is a good guy, man. He just mad that he didn't make it to the NBA, man. I mean, could you imagine being 6'10" and you didn't make it to the NBA? Taz is just mad. He's not mad at me. I've done nothing to Taz. He's just, I know these types of people, man. I went to school with these big, tall, dumb Negroes, and they didn't make it to the league, and they mad at the world. Man, don't be mad at me because you damn near 7 feet tall for no reason. Don't get mad at me. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. That Negro ain't mad at me. I ain't done nothing to Taz. American Millennial says, only players that come up franchises with a culture of winning take team-friendly deals to win championships. Give me an example of somebody real quick. Give me an example. Avera C says, Taz belongs in prison. I don't know if he's ever done anything violent. I'm not going to say that. I don't know too much about him in his personal life, but let me see. Southern Jane says fish is good, lean in the bad fat, but good in protein. Let's see. Big Dog says, I've been to Africa, so I know firsthand they are not eating bush meat. Yeah, they're not, bro. I don't know where that myth comes from. They're not really eating bush meat. They're not doing it. I mean, they eat it. Don't get me wrong, but that's not a big part of their diet. Meat is not a big African. It's not a part of African diets, to be honest with you. Questions to Ponder says, remember, CT Jordan is 6'6". Lamar Odom is 6'10". Yeah, that is true. American man, what's up, man? Says you sound like a goddamn fool. The NBA is a business. Those billionaires make hella money. They do. They do make hella money. But still, imagine you got a guy who has a $300 million contract and you got to pay him $150 million of that, and he's injured most of that contract. No, man, hell no. I'd be pissed off if I was still a billionaire making that kind of money and having to spend that, and a guy that we wanted can't play. Of course not, bro. Let me see. Swish says, I was in Africa for a wedding 2 summers ago. I still wouldn't be simping for Africa after they only point out the bad for blacks. What country did you go to in Africa, sir? What country did you go to in Africa? We got Bob in the building. Salute to you, Bob. Positivity is definitely coming your way, buddy. Salute to you. Oh, real quick question to Potter, if you can remind me to talk about Sally Struthers. I was for some reason I was watching Sally Struthers the other day, and that's a horrible woman, man. What she was doing in the 80s and the 90s, man. When you really look back at what Sally Struthers was doing, that's a horrible woman, man, to be completely honest with you, man. Yeah. And I'm willing to believe, man, they got some people to collect flies and get some kid and put the flies on the face. Yeah, I'm willing to believe they were that kind of sick, man. Question to Ponder says, Sally Struthers, not those old commercials from back in the day. Yeah, I'm talking about those old commercials. Questions to ponder. American Millennial says, Green Bay Packers players do that all the time, CT. Josh Jacobs took less money to stay on the Packers. Yeah, I think that's the honorable thing to do. I mean, let's look at LeBron. LeBron, you already, you make instantaneous money. It ain't really like you need the $50 million. Why don't you take less? Take the veteran salary, man. LeBron probably is going to play another 2 more years. Just take the veteran salary, man. Like you lost so many championships. People are going to question the number 1 and number 2 spot between you and Jordan. But what will make you better than Jordan? If you take that veteran salary. What's the veteran salary, guys? I think it's $2 million. So basically, he'd be playing for free, to be honest with you, from his perspective, man. Guys, get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Let me see. Chris Edwards says, just for the price of a cup of coffee a day. Skywalker says, CT, LeBron should take the league minimum if he wants to keep playing. If not, retire. Then I'm a LeBron James fan. I think that's the best thing to do. It won't be the league. They won't pay him the league minimum. They'll have to pay him the veteran salary, which is a couple $100,000 more than the league minimum. Take the veteran salary, man. Take the veteran salary. That right there will put you leagues ahead of the GOAT argument. Hey, man, he lost about 1,000 championships, but he did take the veteran salary. He left out on a good note. Guys, get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Guys, if you are suffering with depression, you have idle, I can't say the word because of YouTube, but idle thoughts. Don't K-word yourself. Don't K-word yourself. Drink water. Eat that meal I told you to eat. Go out for a walk or a run. Enjoy life. Guys, don't K-word yourself. I know like a lot of people during the holidays are sad for whatever reason. And I can't imagine why you would be sad living in the greatest country on the planet in the greatest time period. But hey, man, that's neither here nor there. But never, ever K-word yourself. Never. Whether you are a Democrat, a Republican, if you are an anarchist, don't K-word yourself. Life is too great. Life is too short. Enjoy every minute of the day. So if you are thinking about K-wording yourself, put it down. Put the pistol down. Open up the garage door. Turn the car off. Live your life. Don't do that. Don't do that, guys. Get the likes up. Young and Blessed says, CT, I agree with you. Those owners have to be the butt of the jokes, and I believe there is a restriction or restrictions amongst the players union of players taking drastic pay cuts. Yeah, they let the unions get too damn powerful. The NBA, especially the NFL. Oh yeah. Let's see here, man. Let me see. Mo Business says lots of liquor and drugs help. No, liquor and drugs do not help. They are absolutely a depressant. I wouldn't do it. No. That's absolutely bad advice, Mo Business. That's bad advice what you are giving. No, liquors and drugs do not help. No, actually, they probably speed up the process. Let me see. Who else is in the building for today? Vinny says, oppression makes a wise man mad. Just 777 says, God created too many fine women that hurt yourself. Who else do we have in the building? Black Boat Speaks says, another African critic, this too shall pass. Who else do we have in the building? Questions to Ponder says, we are about to celebrate the bicentennial. Wait until the festivities finish next year before you do anything rash. Stay alive. Yes, you should. Cliff says, questions to ponder. What was that link? Crying babies and defrauding us money. Guys, also just came to my mind. By the way, guys, Cuts, who is a member of the channel, unfortunately, his mother passed away last night. So send out your condolences to Cuts, if you will, guys. Guys, get the likes up, share the video, man. Let me see. Positivity is coming your way, guys. All right, let me play this video. Here we go.
And still accomplish more than anybody in the diaspora.
I understand. Then where's the problem we are here talking about? That is something that is just human. When you find yourself in a certain situation, you cannot explain it. Better create a boogeyman fast. But a boogeyman only turns around and imprisons you and your own children. I refuse. There is no psychological effect on any black person on earth. We are just...
Southern Gene says, I have seasonal depression. I self-manage. It's just from a shift in the weather and the lack of vitamin D from the sun, etc. So it's kind of over matter and staying positive. Do things like CT said, for sure. Thank you so much, Southern James. And yes, a lot of it is the changing of the weather, the lack of vitamin D. And this is why I always say, guys, stay active. You know, I know a lot of people, it's cold outside. Get your ass outside. Your ancestors lived in the goddamn cold weather for eons. They lived in harsh conditions for eons. I think being cooped up in the house all day makes a lot of people depressed. So get outside, eat better, drink lots of water, if you will. CKJ, what's up, man? Says, shout out to CT. Another topic about the elite Black American. We are forever the trending topic of the world. Shout out to you, man. Positivity is definitely.
Must be the money. I've got so much blame. Must be the money. Must be the money. 26 with all this wealth. Must be the money. Must be the money that funds my lifestyle. Must be the money. Must be the money. The party's at my place.
I don't know about y'all, but I love the winter. I love it. I love going outside. I love when it's cold, walking around in the harsh conditions. You know, I love it, man. It's adventurous. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I never ever suffered with depression. I never thought about K-wording myself, to be honest with you. That's just me, though. That's just me. All right, so this is Frank Zanu. He's a Black American. He was born in Benin. Benin is a West African country. It's a tiny country on the coast of West Africa. And he's about to kick in the backs of this victim panel, if you will. And this is a great interview. I don't want to bring up a panel too soon because I don't want you guys to keep talking over the video. You know, and I would love for today, people called in sober. Last week, I really looked at a few people and I thought to myself, man, a lot of people have a lot of people can't function drunk and high. Some people can. Some people can function drunk and high. But a lot of people last week, they can't do it. And when you are high under the influence of marijuana, which is a drug, I know a lot of people will say it's a plant. No, it's a drug, and you know it. A lot of people can't function. A lot of people can't rationalize, have coherent thinking, let alone speaking. You know, under alcohol, people are raging violent. Please, guys, today call in sober, if you will, guys. Get the likes up, share the video. Positivity's coming your way. Go over to Just the Guys podcast and subscribe. Bob, once again, salute to you, man. Younger Bless says, yeah, like sire. Jesus Christ. Vincent says, I love the winter. I love the winter. Less crime during the winter. Yeah, that is true.
What we are different.
But can you right now, with your wealth and the people that you know, how much land in Chinatown anywhere in the United States can you buy right now?
We Chinatown, the one here.
Any Chinatown. How much can you buy right
Yeah, I totally forgot. Rogan has been doing that for a very long time. I used to participate in the Sober October with Rogan, Joe Rogan. Yeah. I got to start watching this podcast again. I haven't watched this podcast in years, but I used to really be a fan of Joe Rogan for when he first started back in 2009, man, for 5 or 6 years straight, man. I used to watch his videos religiously, man, to be honest with you. I don't know what, I think he went too woke. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I think it was the pandemic too, when I really stopped watching. Here we go.
now?
Well, I don't know.
0. They won't allow it. How much can you buy in the Diamond District in any place? Let's just start in New York. How much can you buy? How much can you buy?
Know those
0.
Yeah. No, let's talk about
No. I'm making it. You got
in the high discussion.
We can have real and honest conversation. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Bro Chat.
This is called the Bro Chat. Never heard of them. Never heard of these guys. The Bro Chat. The Bro Chat. Okay. I never heard. Has anybody ever heard of the Bro Chat? The Bro Chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard of the Bro Chat. Hey, this is the Bro Chat. Yeah. Easy says CT has Rogan posters in his room. Stop lying. Questions to ponder says got that $100 million plus payday and he moved to Austin from Cali. That's what happened. I remember when he got that $100 million deal. I think they upped the ante to $200 million. Twan says he watches these people. Okay. Let's see how they are. I've never watched them before. Here we go.
We can have real and honest conversation, get away from the monotonous conversations about dating and relationships and all the goofy stuff we talk about. That's entertaining. Mm-hmm. But, we here to have some real conversations today, man. No book of. I go by the name of Eli. As always, we got Ace with us.
Yes, indeed. The Daily Rapper Crew, the greatest core with the conversation you've been waiting for. You heard?
What did he just say? Oh, my God. I mean, come on now. These guys seem normal. Come on, man. You heard, you know what I'm saying? Talk normal, man. Damn. What did he just say? Hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. Guys, get the likes up, share the video, guys. Hold on. Did anybody understand what he said? Listen, I'm not trying to knock him. Did anybody understand that? I'm sorry. That's New York slang. Oh, okay. All right. Let's hear it.
About dating and relationships and all the goofy stuff we talk about. That's entertaining. Mm-hmm. But, we here to have some real conversations today, man. No book of. I go by the name of Eli. As always, we got Ace with us.
Yes, indeed. The Daily Rapper Crew, the greatest core with the conversation you've been waiting for. You heard? Ace the GOAT.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
You was waiting all week to say that, was it?
Nah, I just thought about that.
Yeah. Last but not least, we got Jew.
It actually flowed. So now I gotta.
It did. I'm not gonna lie about that. You heard.
I gotta come. Hello, have a great day. Now, what it do? It's your boy Jew. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. You heard.
Mm-hmm. Listen, today's conversation is long overdue. Intellectual class with 2 brilliant minds that are different perspectives about the Black agenda. Mm-hmm. On one side, we got Dave Anderson.
Oh, I know Dave Anderson. Wow, I know Dave Anderson. I had a conversation with Dave Anderson. Interesting. Wow. Does anybody remember that conversation I had with Dave Anderson? Get the likes up, guys. Get the likes up. Here we go.
We got Frank, Zanu.
Yes.
Let me start here with Dave. Can you explain to the audience who you are and why you are qualified to have this conversation.
I feel like my qualifications are I'm a foundational Black American, 22.
That's a qualification. Hell, okay. That's a qualification to have this conversation. Okay. So that's pretty much 40 million people. Leaked says, what did you talk to him? When did you talk to him, CT? I'd like to see that video. It was about a year ago, maybe. Gimpy knows. I was there with me and Gimpy. I was there. Guys, get the likes up. Avaren C says, man, this debate is really making rounds. It is making rounds. Yeah. Joe Rogan is in the building. Says, CT, I am really happy to see you are using the skills that I taught you as my intern. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Mr. Rogan. Here we go.
Time best-selling author, radio broadcast professional, husband, father, and liver of the Black experience for the past 5 decades. I don't think I need a doctorate, but I got a couple degrees. Okay. It's all right.
Okay, that's not the okay. All right. You know, I'm an FBA, and I say so.
Aside from that, I've been living, baby.
Okay,
let's go.
And Frank, can you let the audience know who you are and why you are qualified to have this conversation?
My name is Frank Zanu, of course, from Benin Republic, West Africa. I have lived in about 9 African countries. I was trained to be a journalist, so I've been a reporter.
I want you guys to notice the difference here, right? And, you know, I want to be very, very, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be a shock jock today and informative, but I want you to notice the difference between the way Frank Zanu speaks. Now, he has a thick West African accent, but I want you to pay attention, and this is what I'm talking about. The difference between Frank Zanu, an African, versus the FBAs who've been here for generations. Notice the difference in the way that they talk. Frank Zanu, you're going to notice he speaks, even though he has a thick accent, he speaks proper English. He's able to communicate effectively. He's able to have a structured sentence. Now, I just want to point that out. And this is the difference between a lot of Africans and a lot of FBAs. Let's see here. Get the likes up, guys. Here we go.
Washington Times for 13 years. It allowed me to live in Asia, Europe, Africa.
I already said.
African countries. I was trained.
Audience know who you are and why you are qualified to have this conversation.
My name is Frank Zanu, of course, from Benin Republic, West Africa. I have lived in about 9 African countries. I was trained to be a journalist.
You already said, he said he lived in 9 African countries. I want you guys to listen to this before they get to debating. He lived in 9 African countries. CT, what does that mean, 9 African countries? Well, he's lived in 9 different economies. He's lived in 9 different countries in Africa. So he's been around maybe, and I'm going to give you a low ballpark, but he's probably been around or heard 100 different languages, right? He's heard thousands of different dialects or dialects. He's been in different countries with different governments, different styles of governments, maybe a dictatorship, maybe a republic, maybe I don't know too much about the countries he's been to, but more than likely he's been in all these different countries, right? Military dictatorships. Who knows? CT, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about the fact that your average African is globally experienced in travel, even if it's on the continent of Africa alone. This is what gives these people and will give these people a broader understanding of a global market. So he's not showing off here. He's just telling you, hey, I lived in 9 different countries. So this man has so many different experiences. He's lived in 9 different countries with 9 different currencies, different systems. He's probably been in, I don't know which, I got to really research this guy, but he's been in countries where it was a stable government. Maybe another country had an unstable government. Maybe he witnessed a coup d'etat. Maybe he witnessed a bloody coup. Who knows, man? This is what I am saying about the African. The African is prepared for the global market, the global agenda. While these, I don't know, and I don't want to talk about these blacks because I don't know these blacks on the panel here. What is their experience compared to his? He's already won the debate, in my opinion. He's already won. Get the likes up. Get the likes up, guys. CT is from the Appalachia. I am not. Marvelous Revolution says FBA tries to be extra cool. That's why CT. Said the African is already cooking. He's cooking. He hasn't even really said anything, man. CKJ says has nothing to do with America. America is the global market. We don't care about 9 irrelevant countries. Keep doing what you're doing, CKJ. I rock with you, man. You're a good friend, fellow Northeast Ohio brethren. But I think, to a degree, and I got to say this, I don't think you understand the real, brother, at least with this conversation. This man knows, I bet you this man, Dr. Frank Zanu, knows 8 languages. Think about his brain. This man could go anywhere right now at 50, 60 years old and still succeed. While a lot of people in this country, FBA, that are his age, probably, if they haven't made it, they're just probably never going to figure it out. This man has the wiring in his brain to figure things out. Swish says, I caught the end of that live, CT. I was actually agreeing with the African more than the FBAs. All right, here we go.
So I've been a reporter for the Washington Times for 13 years. It allowed me to live in Asia, Europe, Africa.
He's heard him. He's lived in Asia, Europe, and Africa. Asia, Europe, and Africa. This man is global. This man is well-traveled. He's ahead of the game, man. He is, and a lot of Africans are like this. Not the whole continent, not all, like Jesse Lee Peterson says, but this man's ahead of the game, man. He's in a different ballpark. He's playing chess. And the FBAs that he's probably going to speak to, they're playing checkers. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Here we go.
And so now, of course, I live in the United States of America. So I have a link. It seems to be the only bridge who can compare what I know from where I came from and then seeing people that we're taking from that place now. So I can look at the two and be able to spell out the similarity.
Southern Jeans says, I watch Florida Made. I love his content. And lately, I've been wondering why people don't think he is against the black community like people do. CT and the blacks are the center of his content. Opinions? Let me see. Republic Room says, one African man now settled in Connecticut defeated 4 black American male victims. You get it, Republic Room. You definitely get it. You get it. I don't think that. I'll play the video. Here we go.
And what the root cause of some of the problems are.
The first topic I want to get into is, how do you define culture? And under your definition, do Black Americans have a unique culture? Let me start here with Frank.
Well, I'm glad you used the word unique culture. So yes, I'm sure you all saw the episode, that got everybody on my case, except this gentleman who was the only one brave enough to say, well, look, before I cut him into pieces, let me give him a chance to come into the studio and explain, to the audience.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. People say, oh, you're from Benin. And I'll say, yes. And they say, what's Benin culture like? And then I freeze. Because there's nothing like a Benin culture. Or if you're from Ghana, or if you're from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, there is no such thing. But if you say, oh, you are Yoruba, I said, yes. What is Yoruba culture like? Then he or she is able to start to talk about it. So there are similarities which I'm going to really explain, and you can see it. So I'm first going to ask, he's been on my show. He's seen my thing. I do not put together that show, which I fund from my own pocket because I just want to say things to make people angry. No, it's because I really care. And sometimes I get frustrated about what I have seen from the continent where I come from and what I see here about my great grandfathers, uncles, sisters who were taken away. So African Americans would say,
"Oh, guys, speaking of Benin, where he's from, there is currently a coup taking place. It's currently right now a coup taking place. Nigeria has sent over jets and tanks to probably I don't know if they're going to squash the coup, but it's a coup d'etat taking place right now. Let's see. Here we go.
well, you're not one local. Yes, I know, but I'm walking past my cousin, my nieces every day. So what is in my head is what is in their head. And what I'm explaining is something that they must listen to. When I say there is no such thing as African American culture, they're like, what do you mean? But culture for me is not dance, food, clothing. Those are not cultures.
That's what I've been saying. See, he's so nice and refined. He's like a Vulcan. I'm like a Romulan. I'm the emotional cousin, you know, who's just as intelligent, but he's like a Vulcan. He's saying the same things I keep saying. It's not who lives their life saying, we got culture. Do you know that 2 Japanese were rapping in Tokyo? You stupid idiot. That's not culture being spread. That's not black. That's not real culture. Culture is manufacturing, production, research and development. That's culture. Being known as, hey man, you know that these people are known as being smart. That's culture. Man, this dude is saying the same things that I'm saying and have been saying for a long time. L says Frank just changed the definition of culture to fit his narrative, just like CT does. But isn't that what everybody does? I mean, I would rather want to be known for mathematics than collard greens and black-eyed peas. Wouldn't you, L? Hey, what's your culture? Well, my culture, we make good black-eyed peas and collard greens. Oh, okay. Well, my culture, we are mathematicians, and our mathematics are people use our mathematical theories and jet propulsion research and yada yada yada. You know, that's what I would want. Get the likes up. I want to point out that Swish says, without cursing, he still sounds just as harsh. What's up, John? Salute to you, man. Positivity's coming your way, but at the speed of light, guys. Get the likes up. Share the video, guys. Let's see. Here we go.
Culture is a worldview.
You heard what he said? Culture is a world view. That's what I've been saying. CT, you don't say it like that. Well, I mean, I'm not as PhD as this gentleman, but it's a world view. How do I want to be seen? These guys, I mean, I'm not knocking them. I could barely understand what they were saying. But then if you say, oh, well, that's just Ebonics or the way they talk. Well, I'm like, well, you want the world to see you speaking incoherent English. That's your culture. So my culture is I want to speak the proper way because that's the way that everybody else speaks it. And that's the way that I can get into certain doors and avenues. You can only speak Ebonics amongst other Ebonic speakers. And you don't hear Ebonics in NASA. SpaceX. You don't hear Ebonics in those conversations. I'm sorry, it doesn't translate over into those fields or those institutions, to be honest with you. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Positivity's coming your way. Here we go, guys.
The worldview is what drives people. Their relationship to wealth, to money, to community, to marriage, to family.
Yeah.
It's the worldview they have. That's the foundation of a culture.
That's exactly.
And number 2, there is no possibility for you to have a culture without having a language. So if you read most of the books written by brilliant African Americans, the first thing you see, the headline is, the traumatic thing about slavery is not merely changing your environment. The traumatic thing about slavery is not merely asking you to work.
Bob with the $20 super chat. Salute to you, man. I really, really appreciate you, Bob. Here you go. Must be the money.
Must be the money. I've got so much blame. Must be the money. Must be the money. 26 with all this wealth. Must be the money. Must be the money that funds my lifestyle. Must be the money.
Africans in America are like walk-ons on college football teams and do well. Black Americans are like a bunch of third-string quarterbacks talking about they are in the NFL. But ask any African where they want to be, college or the NFL. Bob, that is a really, really good analogy, man. And it is true, man. It is definitely true. That is the best way to put it. The African is the walk-on. The African is the walk-on that, hey, I saw this guy throw the other day. Let's put him into practice real quick. Oh, okay, he could throw for 70 yards. Wow. Did you play high school football? No, I didn't. I just had a talent. You put him in the game and he overperforms. Same thing with the NFL. The African, you could argue, is the undrafted individual that goes on to be a Hall of Famer, like Antonio Gates, by the way, who was a walker. He was an undrafted NFL player. He actually played basketball in college. He played at Kent State. Bob, it's over, man. They don't understand. It's over. It's over. Multinational corporations don't want to hear, you know what I'm saying? You feel me, man? What? What did you say? I couldn't understand a word you said. They don't want to hear that, Bob. These people don't understand that we are in a global society now. So he's right about the language. It's not going to translate globally, man. Just that in that itself. Get the likes up. Share the video, guys. Go over and subscribe to Pops and Politics and Just the Guys podcast. Get the likes up. Here we go.
Long hours. The Russians had hard labor camps in Siberia. Many countries, Japanese had it, where people work and they die. The traumatic thing about slavery is one thing only, which everyone has written about. They took our language away. They took our culture away. They took our history and religion away. That is a traumatic thing about being a slave. Now, if they took those things away, how and when were they recovered? So I met a gentleman. I was attending a conference in Singapore, and I met this gentleman who was a Korean sociologist.
I already said, I want you guys to pay attention to what this guy is saying. You guys are here to watch the debate. I'm here to see what kind of person this guy is. Listen to what he said. I was at a conference in Singapore. This man is operating globally. Now, obviously, at a conference in Singapore, it's probably an economic conference. Singapore is one of the wealthiest nations on the planet per capita. He's at an economic conference in Singapore. Do you think he went there with some black culture? No, he went there with first of all, Western culture that is compatible globally. He's speaking to people. He can't speak Ebonics. He can't start off a conversation with, this rap song, you know what I'm saying? No. He didn't come off with a conversation talking about collard greens and black eyed peas and poke rinds. No, that's not a global mindset. Black culture doesn't translate over like that. That's what a lot of these guys are going to talk about. They're going to bring up the food, they're going to bring up clothing, but it doesn't translate like that. He didn't go over there sagging his pants in Singapore City. He probably get arrested in jail for some crap like, Singapore City they don't F around. They'd arrest your ass or your ass. They'd arrest you for that. He's not talking Ebonics. He's not talking about black culture at all. He's talking about high level pursuits. He's not talking about no goddamn black culture. Doesn't translate. Sorry, it doesn't. Neither does Eskimo culture. It doesn't translate over at these levels of civilization. It just doesn't translate. He can't go over there talking about, we was slaves and shit. No, it doesn't translate to these people. They're like, what is he talking about? We're here for an economic conference to improve pipelines, but gas pipelines between Singapore and China. Maybe, I don't know. What is he talking about? Pastor Manning is correct, man. I think a lot of people don't understand the world. Get the likes up again for Bob, CKJ. Salute to you guys, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Samuel says, CT, he's just speaking proper English. It's not that deep. And this is what I'm talking about. You don't understand the nuance. Because you, Sam, you are also a Negro that probably doesn't understand the world, respectfully. It's not just about proper English. It's the ability to effectively communicate globally. Effective communication is a Western, and you could even argue an English way of viewing a way of life, or a way of viewing reality. You can't communicate when you, man, like how those guys were talking. Yeah, you feel me? No, what are you talking about? You feel me? What? This Frank Zanu guy at this conference, I'm willing to bet he went over there, and he's an impressive guy. I bet you his posture, his body language. He's rail traveled, so he's able to speak to certain people at a certain level. Most people can't do it in America. So you keep saying America is really a bubble place for people. It's a bubble for a lot of people. Hang tight, guys. It's a bubble. Those guys are in a bubble. They're in a hip hop bubble. They could talk like that around other people who know the hip hop stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You feel me, man? You feel you see, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? You can't do that in the real world. That stuff sounds stupid. It doesn't translate. Oh, this is why their go-to culture is clothes and food. That's the only way it translates. Yeah, you go into some little chicken spot. Hey man, let me get the 3-piece meal. But you can't talk like that at a shipping port. You ever see? You guys really need to watch videos on when cargo ships go into shipping ports and the complexity of just docking and the complexity of just. They have algorithms now that do this, but getting the right container, getting it out in an effective time, making sure that they're not there's no choke points, or they're not choking up other cargo ships that need to. It's really you can't communicate this idiocracy of thinking that this subpar degenerate black language system is operational at a global scale. It's absolute comedy to me, because it only works with a subset of people. When globally, listen, this guy has a very thick Western African accent, but I bet he could go to the UK and other places and conduct better business than your average FBA, without a doubt. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. We got a 99-cent super sticker from Swish. Salute to you, man. I really appreciate that. Positive.
Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday that's got them on my side. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday. I'm never going wrong. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday that keeps me looking fly. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday that's got me cruising in style.
And we have a $2 super sticker from American Millennial. We up about 15% this quarter. Yeah, dear me. Yeah, what? Here we are. Yeah. Oh, I got that.
Must be the Monday. I've got so much blame. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday. 26 with all this wealth. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday that funds my lifestyle. Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday. The party's at my place.
Here we go. Thank you so much.
So we started talking during coffee, and I said, "Oh, I lived in Korea for 2 years when I was reporting." And he said, "Oh, wow!" And then we started talking. I don't remember how the conversation came about when he asked me. He said, "So your country was colonized?" I said, "Yes." And my country, his country, Korea, was colonized by the Japanese for 49 years. And he said, "What did you guys," meaning referring to people in Benin, "what did you lose as a result of colonization?" And I froze and I said, "Whoa, nobody."
What's up, Blue Bagger? Salute to you, man. Let me give you a must be the money. Thank you so much.
Must be the money, must be the money. I've got so much blame. Must be the money, must be the money. 26 with all this wealth. Must be the money, must be the money that funds my lifestyle. Must be the money, must be the money. The party's at my place.
Blue Baggers with the $10 super chat says FBAs are the richest of all the world's blacks. We can learn nothing from the Africans. You could argue that the East Indian American, you can argue that the white American, you can argue that any American is the richest compared to the world because America has the highest GDP. But they are only rich because we have a very, 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 very wealthy ecosystem here, an economic ecosystem. But how are they rich? They're rich because of white-made companies. They're rich because we have a federal government that pretty much, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that works in the federal government, but you pretty much give away jobs, or you pretty much give away free money for jobs that we don't really need. And I'm not knocking anybody who works at the federal level, but it's a default. You are a default wealthy person. But what you don't understand, Blue Baggins, is that the world is at the precipice. Is it precipice? Of becoming a very, very global market. And gone are the days of federal jobs at a high level. Gone are the days of, you see what automation is going to do eventually, or you already see what automation is currently doing. It's over, man. It's over. It's over. It's billions of Africans. It's billions of Indians, man. Those days are over. It's over, man. You just heard this man. He said, "I lived in Korea." This man can go anywhere on the planet and work at this point because he's just real. He's a railed, traveled individual. And this is what other groups of people are doing. America is a bubble, man. I'm telling you, man. But keep living your life and believing whatever it is that you believe, man. I rock with you, Blue Baggers. You're a good guy. Let me see Antoine with the $5 super chat. I don't know what you talking about, CT. I'm finna go to the corner store right now and grab a pork chop sandwich. Uh-oh, guys, get the likes up. Share the video. Here we go.
Must be the money, must be the money that's got them on my side. Must be the money, must be the money. I'm never going wrong. Must be the money, must be the money that keeps me looking fly. Must be the money, must be the money that's got me cruising in style.
Thank you so much, Antoine. I really appreciate this super chat. CKJ says, CT just be talking. How do you know this? Sir, it's right in front of your eyes, man. Singapore was nothing more than a fish. Singapore City was nothing more than a fishing port just 70, 80 years ago. Look at it now. Look at it now. Some of the most wealthiest people in America are now expats in Singapore. I know because Anton Creel, you look him up. His name is Anton Creel, Kreel. He moved there from the UK to live in a different economy other than a Western economy, because you see where markets are going. You see where companies are going now. I had a friend. Well, I don't know if we were friends. I mean, I talked to her a couple of times in college. An acquaintance. I'm not gonna give her name. CKJ, you might know her. She goes by, and she used to be a rapper. How about that? Where we are from. She does business in China all the time. She goes over to China because she has factories there. CKJ, do you know who I'm talking about? Let's see. We got Samuel with the $5 super chat. How many countries have you traveled to, CT? Three. I've been to 3 countries outside of America. Three countries. Thank you so much, man. Blue Baggins with the $5 super chat. How can 100% guarantee? I can 100% guarantee this guy is not not well traveled nor more successful in business or in the business world than me. You, sir, got me effed up. How do you know that, Blue Baggins? How do you know that? You think you're more traveled than Frank Zanu? I don't know. Maybe you are. I don't know, man. It seems like. Well, why don't you call in when I drop the link and tell everybody how you are more well traveled than Frank Zanu? Oh, CKJ know who I'm talking about. yeah. I went to school with her, man. Yeah, we weren't really friends. I mean, it's just she was always working. She was always working on her craft. But yeah, I went to school with her real name is M. But me and her we talked a couple of times. Yeah. But she's very rich. She does business all the time overseas. And you see the kind of wealth that she has and what she's doing. So she's always in China at her factories, man. Yeah. That was pretty big. Hey, when we were in college, that was a pretty big song where we were from, man. Yeah. Here we go, guys. Get the likes up. Share the video. Here we go.
Has ever asked me that question. So I said, Prof, you tell me, and that will give me some idea. And he said, no, we're Koreans. We're colonized by the Japanese. So when they left, all we lost was time. We just went back being Koreans. And from that day, I could tell clearly, what did we lose as a result of colonization in Africa? What did you lose as a result of slavery? If you don't fix that which you lost, you're not going to make any way forward. So in Africa, the countries that exist today were never there.
That is true.
They force a group of tribes that have their own distinct cultures to become a country.
Yep.
So they've lost their distinct cultures, trying to have a culture as a collective, which is never going to happen. So for me, first and foremost, when I talk about culture, I'm talking about a worldview, meaning the collective have to have one reason they are here on earth. And that thing is what drives them. It's what makes them wage wars, conquer people, anything. You ask anybody, in 1884, it was the Irish journalist who finally found a word to describe the English man, which he called.
Japrice is correct. Colonization saved everyone. Japrice, our ancestors, at best, were fishermen, simple farmers living off the land, living in mud huts. There's nothing wrong with that. And I will admit that. There's nothing wrong with that. But compare that to the civilization in which we live in today. It's no comparison. I'd rather live in this civilization than to live how my ancestors lived for thousands of years. Oh, without a doubt. And we all understand. You see some quack job. I don't want to call them nuts or quacks because to a degree, I kind of find that to be very. I think a lot of these people do it for content, but you'll see. There's this one white guy, Japrice, that I watch. He does this. He lives off the grid for a couple of weeks, and you will find some people living off the grid in America. But remember, it's always that safety net to come back into civilization. But the truth of the matter is that colonization bought a level of civilization that did not exist in many parts of the world. It bought systems and industry and religion that just wasn't there, and morals, which definitely are truths. So thank you so much, Japrice. Salute to you. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Pepe says CT would be bathing in cow piss in Africa. Oh my God. Japrice says, imagine eating monkey hot wings. That was racist. Jesus, here we go.
All the manifest destiny. That exceptionalism of the Englishmen, now you call them Americans. The American exceptionalism is the American culture. That they believe that God put them on this earth to colonize and civilize others. And that's what drives them to go out there and try to give freedom and fight for freedom and do all the things they do. Now, good or bad, I'm not giving any value You ask the Japanese, he will tell you their worldview. So their dance and food, and no, those are not. I came from a place where, as a young boy, I was given a worldview, and it guided me everywhere I went. So when you meet me outside my culture, you can tell from my behavior, he must come from a culture that believes in XYZ. So a culture becomes more pronounced when you are outside the group. As an individual, outside your group, people must be able to tell.
Okay. Dave, what is your rebuttal to that?
It's
There's nothing to rebut. So I hope he doesn't say.
not so much a rebuttal.
Yeah. Okay. See, I've talked to Dave before. He is a higher IQ'd black. So I kind of figured he'd give that answer. It's nothing to rebuttal. I mean, everything that Frank Zanu said is not just the truth. It's actually profound. And obviously higher intelligent people would respect where he's coming from. You can't deny it, man. The man said he lived in 9 countries. He's done business in a multiplicity of countries. You can't deny some man who says, hey man, my world view might be a little bit different from yours. Japri says colonialism actually abolished slavery, which it did. It did.
It's a difference in philosophy, right? It is, and I think we got to thank Frank for even coming here, because I know for some people this would be very adversarial. Frank and I, we talk all the time. We're very, very good folk. And there's a couple of things that I got to push back on simply because they were not available to us. See, when Frank was born, he inherited a culture. We had to make one with what we had. Some of us, if I were to swab any one of you, you would find some Nigerian, you would find some Ghanaian. Like, we had to hodgepodge, not to mention out of all of the places that Black people were forced into when we were slaves, 3% came to what we now consider the United States of America. And then we were bred over time. We were buck broken over time, the America. And then we were bred over time. We were buck broken over time.
See, I only watched little bits and pieces of this. Dave, no, man, no. You are a grown ass man. You don't know if your ancestors were buck broken. Why would you say something like that? What the hell? What? Why would a man say without any fact that the reason why his people are currently in whatever position they are in life is because of some sort of possible fairy tale of being buck broken? Come on, Dave. No, man, no. Blue Bag says that's not exactly the argument CT is making. And no, I cannot learn from anyone. Maybe you can. I want to give a big shout out to Miguel with the $7 super chat. I don't listen or take advice from men who wear their hat like a woman.
Must be the money. I've got so much blame. Must be the money. Must be the money. 26 with all this wealth. Must be the money. Must be the money that funds my lifestyle. Must be the money. Must be the money. The party's at my place.
David. This African man from Benin, he just told you that his people were colonized, but he never spoke about any of the brutality or supposed brutality. Why are you leading off with, well, his history was different from mine. My ancestors were buck broken. You don't even know if that's true. Why present that to the world? That your ancestors were buck broken. That is some wild stuff to me. And it automatically makes whoever is listening to you look at you like you are an inferior, like you are a subject. like you are a coward, a punk. Why? Why say something that crazy? This is why. This is why Frank Zanu is winning. I couldn't imagine him saying that or giving that as an excuse, if you will. Jesus Christ. Republic Room says exactly. Check your email, Republic Room. Jesus Christ. Here we go.
They would take our women and grape them out of respect for your channel. You know what?
No, they didn't. No, Dave. No, they didn't. No. A lot of those people were Christian Puritan. A lot of those people, man, were no, Dave. A lot of those women back then were attracted to white men, just like black women today are attracted to white men. No, Dave, stop it. Even grape statistics now. I'm gonna use statistics. I normally don't like using statistics. No, intra, or is it inter? I don't know. I think it's intra. Intra-racial grapes are typically black on white. It's never the reverse, man. Stop it, Dave. Stop. Japrice, what's going on?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, it's like they lose me when they get to the butt broke stories. Like they
Yeah.
love that story. It's almost like
Yeah.
they fantasize about it. It's like this is why I
Yeah.
can't consider myself FBA, even though technically I'm FBA. It's like what's up with the spooky horror stories? Why do we have to lead with it? It's
Yeah.
like you don't know those my folks wasn't broke.
Yeah.
I don't it's like they fantasize about it to where they just make up stuff and it's like this stuff is not even proven. You can't prove this actually happened.
Yeah.
You can't prove it.
No, you can't.
You
You
know, so
can't.
it's almost as if you're sick. This is what you want to have
Yeah.
happened, and it's like they weren't even. I personally I don't believe that, they were even like I don't know if you can say like doing that to the women.
No.
I 100% believe that the women were throwing themselves because if I'm gonna keep it real, I definitely would if the stories were true and I had the chance to get in that house, you better believe I'm going to be throwing it.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any woman
Listen,
would.
I
They can't
think
sit here and
yeah.
lie and say they
Yeah.
wouldn't.
And Japrice, listen, don't get me wrong. I think large numbers of black women are very, very attractive and beautiful. But we do have a lot of women who look like Kunta Kinte in the face. I just don't think that those women were being raped at all. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
just
exactly.
just me. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of women
No,
were very black women.
yes.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yes.
come on,
No, yes, absolutely. And then the what they would call the colonizers, they were Christians. I don't believe they were
yeah,
doing, some of the things that they were saying that they did.
yeah,
I just don't understand because it's not proven, and they
yeah,
can't even show a document. They can't show anything. Everything that they know is just word of mouth. And I'm here
yeah,
to tell you that no, my folks hasn't told me any of these stories.
yeah,
They
yeah,
haven't told me any of that. They only talked about perseverance and how we still have homes in our family that my folks still
yeah,
own from the 40s and the 50s. And like I don't know.
yeah.
That's just
Republic Room,
me.
what say you so far about Frank Zanu? They haven't really started the debate yet, but what say you so far about Frank Zanu?
Yes, first of all, I find him to be, I have a cautiously optimistic, but I really have enjoyed everything Frank has said. Frank goes to the white meat. He gets right there.
Republic Room, are you there? Okay, we lost Republic Room. Here we go.
Oh, hey, I think
go
I'm
ahead.
in a bad area.
Go ahead.
Hold on, Laura. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Sound better
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying, yeah. Okay, great. So with Dave, I really thought that Dave would be different, but he just gives me a non-rhyming Michael Eric Dyson, but with the conservative spin on it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But he still has the same victimhood rhetoric, and at this
Kind of breaking up. Yeah. I'm sorry. What's up, Blue Jay? Salute to you. Frank is well-rounded in cultures. Well-rounded in cultures. Yes. Or all right, we lost her. Japrice, what did you think about the fact that Frank Zanu is well-traveled? And this is what I'm trying to tell a lot of these FBAs, man. You know that these Africans are they're different, and these Indians are different. These people are global. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not really for sure.
Are you in a public library whispering? Yes.
No, this is just my normal voice. Would you like for me to get a little louder?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I can't. I just can't.
Okay, the kids. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm actually they're having their swimming lessons, and I'm in like a room, but I'm by myself though. But I don't want to scream. But
Gotcha. You're around white people. You just say you're around white people. That's what it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is that is if someone is well traveled, they're more educated than anyone will ever be with a degree. That's the best way of educating yourself.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so they would have a world view. They have more of a world view than you. And the best knowledge is observation, what you can see and what you can observe. So when people are telling their experiences on what they see, it's almost like what they're saying is correct versus, I mean, I don't really know I don't really follow up on like whoever this Frank guy is. I'm guessing he's African or maybe
he's
Nigerian
from Benin. He's from Benin.
Oh, he's from Benin. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
All right, here we go.
I'm saying drop the G, and then on top of that, they had a split breast system, and
a split breast system. What the hell is that? What is a split breast? Is that splitting breast tits? Have you ever heard of this? It's all like this is made up stuff. What is this?
They always make things up. They always make things up. It's always something new.
All right, here we go.
Breast system means that one breast would feed the white children of the slave master, and the other one would feed the black children.
What kind of crazy shit? Oh my God! They just make stuff up, and this is why Frank's. Go ahead, Jabrice. Go ahead. Anyway, go ahead. I never heard of this system. Go ahead. You never heard of this before?
They're saying the only thing I've heard is that they believe that white people are smarter, and they're able to do whatever they can do because they were breastfed by black women.
Yikes!
That's the only thing I've heard.
Bought off and sold. We also have a situation where we had to face things that no other black person on the continent had to face. You know, taking our children and feeding them to alligators, lynch.
Oh, I hate this story with a passion because you guys are making that up. That's so made up. It's literally made up.
Other than Florida, where the hell are alligators in America? Other than Florida.
Tell me about it.
Other than Florida, where else do alligators go at? I mean, these stories are so stupid and made up.
Why would they throw their what they would call it, their property? That's a money-making machine. Why would they give it away and kill it? Why would they do that?
Japrice, this man just said that the horrors here, supposedly in America, the African never went through it. Does Dave not know about all the civil wars, the genocides, all of the maiming that takes place in Africa, even to this day? Does he not even know about? He's a smart guy, so I know he knows that blacks are doing 1,000 times worse to other blacks right now in some places. Has he ever watched videos of what's going on in Sudan? Has he not watched these videos? Or you're on mute, Japrice.
I don't know. You know, you got to talk to me like I'm a woman that's a C student.
He doesn't
I
need
don't really
to.
understand.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Republican Room. Go ahead.
Oh, hey there, Mr. I think it's CT. I think I'm coming to the area. I came out to do some Christmas shopping in another small town, so it's bad out here. Well, not bad. It's the reception. So this is what I wanted to say. Yes, I think that he doesn't. Even if he didn't read it, it doesn't matter. What Dave, I think Dave kind of gives me a kind of pseudo-conservative, non-rhyming Michael Eric Dyson.
Yeah.
You know who's Michael Eric? It's kind of like that. I was really surprised that Dave is talking like this. Like,
I'm actually surprised too.
He gave examples that I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And I was so glad that Frank never said, you know what, listen, I agree. I love how Frank stays on his square. But yes, the alligator thing, and like the young lady said, I always thought something's up with this. I'm not saying there wasn't cruelty. What I'm saying is that if everyone was so-called a slave master, the slaves were property, was money. No one is doing that. So anyway, CT, but yeah,
I find it hard to believe that Dave would say something about alligators and babies. Let's assume that happened once or twice. Does he not know that in Africa, in the past 30 years, people have gotten their arms and limbs chopped off? Different ethnic. Does he not know this stuff? To me, it is almost unbelievable that he would say something like this, and that the supposedly these stories that took place, which I find it hard to believe that it even happened a lot because there ain't that many places where alligators are even in the country. Does he not know about all the civil wars and genocide where blacks literally will chop off the limbs of other blacks? What is he talking about?
And you would just only have to think that if this were to happen, like you said, it was once or twice, and I'm quite sure the baby probably came out deformed, so that was their way of getting rid of it.
Yeah. Here we go. Jay Brillo says Dave stole that scene from the movie Prince of Egypt. Great movie, by the way. Oh, okay. Had no idea. Here we go.
Jim Crow, all of those things. And when you look at it, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, the pulse of America runs through foundational Black Americans.
The pulse of America runs through foundational Black Americans. Okay, let's talk about that. Japrice, Republic Room. Dave said the pulse of America runs through foundational Black Americans. What does he mean by that?
He means the victimhood, or he means some type of pain, because he's certainly not referring to, we all know that there were Black, very industrious people. And there was a time when I would, could say that, hey, Black people really gave a lot to this country and to their families. I don't know. I just think that Dave he has another spin to this, CT, and I'm just not buying it. But I think that the pulse, he's trying to say that it's victimhood, it's not strength. Yeah. But again, Black people make that synonymous. So there's that.
Republican, have you ever been to the alligator farm in you've been to Florida, right?
I've been to Florida now, and even where I am now, we have gators. So I'm close
you ever
to
been
Louisiana.
Okay, so you've been to an alligator farm.
Oh yeah.
What did they teach you about alligators? Japrice, check. What did they teach you about alligators that you didn't even know?
I don't know much about it.
Alligators only need to eat once or twice a year.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait. Seriously?
Alligators, I think it's like maybe twice or three times. They can go without food for 300 something days. So when I hear these stories about, they threw Black babies to alligators, I'm like, well, I mean, it's not implausible. But knowing alligators' eating patterns, it doesn't seem likely that it was just an ongoing thing. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I kind of don't even like talking about this because it's a really thing to say. I don't know why these Blacks say this stuff. Because if I were to ask Dave, that happened in your family? Of course, he'd say no. So when did it happen? But a lot of people don't even know alligators don't even eat that much food. But anyway, never mind. That's neither here nor there. Let me see. Scam says most reptiles don't eat often. That is true. Easy says CT's making this up. I'm not making anything up. I was actually surprised myself. All right, is there more Dave? Here we go.
Was the first person to die in the Revolutionary War? Crispus Attucks. Black man, foundational Black American, right? Harriet Tubman made the Underground Railroad and stopped it in Philadelphia. There are all of these things that have happened that make it who we are. Now, as a person who was the first Black youth president of an organization called the National Conference of Christians and Jews, to Frank's point, I do agree, you don't really see your culture until you're out of it. So I'm a raisin and buttermilk in a conversation where there's a bunch of white Christians and a bunch of Jewish people, and they're like, hey, we do this. I'm like, no, Black people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? From the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we eat, the way we move. Not to mention, you can't go anywhere on this earth without seeing our influence. The problem is, unlike...
I wish I was there because I would love to ask Frank Zanu. Frank Zanu, did you see all this when you were in Singapore City? Because certainly you would say sagging is a part of Black culture. Did you sag? Republic Room, what do you think about what Dave just said there about the way they walk, the way they eat, the way they talk? Would that really translate over these other countries? Republic Room,
to be, not unless it's just something they can kind of mock and get a by proxy cool from. But, you know, again, that they're using is always going to be food, entertainment, dancing as something that really just changed the whole wide world. But yet, there are still people who have to create the instrument, build the dance hall, you know, construct the place where the acoustics can sound this way. But also when he said Harriet Tubman, he's acting like, see, Dave usually is speaking, he gives a preacher cadence, a Black preacher cadence, where he's usually speaking to people who do not research. So even with Harriet Tubman, CTX, like Harriet Tubman started the underground. Like this woman did this alone, and he, again, he's full of talking points.
She's actually a fictional character.
Yeah, I kind of agree she didn't exist. Real quick, Bob, I'm so tired of this hour and we shit. He didn't do shit. Yeah, I never believed Harriet Tubman existed, to be completely honest with you.
And if she was, she's very ugly.
Easy. I don't think she existed because, I mean, you two women right now wouldn't walk to the next state, let alone the next town over. Let's be honest about it. Caprice, and that's what makes it so fictional to me. The whole idea that this woman, she was just walking from state to state. Get the hell out. I don't believe it. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And they said she was like what, 5'2" or something like that.
5-something.
They said that she was knocking babies out. Like, well, I thought they were getting thrown in the water. Which one is it?
Like any other Black culture on the face of the planet, we have been colonized and monetized for profit by everyone, including the Koreans. K-pop ain't nothing but R&B. Let's call it what it is.
K-pop is R&B. I think Dave should just get up at that moment and leave now. Frank Zanu automatically wins the argument at this point. K-pop is R&B, Republic Room?
You know, now, Cece, I don't know who K-pop is or what that is, but it's just Dave is going to assign everything to Blackness, and so that's what I know about him. I've heard Dave enough now that I know that's what he does.
Bob says, "CT, that is blasphemy." Here we go.
Is and it's R&B under duress, because if you look at what happened with Megan Thee Stallion when she was dealing with those K-pop girls, she was like, oh, it's serious up in here, because if they miss a step, they get what Joe Jackson gave Mike and them, but worse. There are all of these things that take place that no one wants to talk about. So no, we don't have a language because we,
you know, I really look at Dave and a lot of these Blacks like they're like 50-year-old 13-year-olds. This man is talking about K-pop. He's not talking about rocket science, jet propulsion, because he can't do it. You notice they stay away from those topics because you really have, the proof is right there. SpaceX, all of these space programs, not created nor run by Blacks. But they always go back to the easiest thing because that is something that you could argue, maybe they did influence that genre. They never talk about real, tangible things. Go ahead, Republic Room. Go ahead.
He's dumbing down a message that really could be impactful. He's dumbing it down on purpose. And that's what he's doing. Yeah.
we weren't allowed to speak our language under penalty of death. When you talk about you can't come to the cookout and things of that nature, people forget picnic is is an abbreviated slang term, which means you get to picnic to lynch.
In all this history, he's still. Go ahead, guys. Jesus Christ.
And it's just so sad, and it's just so like it's shocking, but yet not shocking because you guys are still like repeating these stuff as at your grown age. Like you're still repeating this. You're still repeating that picnic was short. Like, huh? Who told you that? You made that up.
Yeah, I think it just meant picnic. I don't think it meant pick a snigger. It doesn't make any sense. But let's keep watching. Here we go.
Postcards.
Republic Room, where does Dave Anderson live?
Oh, I don't know where Dave lives. I thought it was perhaps Atlanta, but I'm not sure where Dave lives. I know he used to sing backup apparently for either Teddy Pendergrass or Luther Vandross. Someone he was a singer.
Okay, here we go.
Came from pictures that they used to take the back of and mail for people who couldn't see the lynching that they had. All of these things we survived. And the funny thing is,
he survived, dude. God damn, how old is this dude? 200 years old? What is he talking about? Jesus.
Over here and benefiting from the fact that we put out the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, all of those things that started as the Black Liberation Movement, but then got shoehorned into civil rights because everybody wants to come off of our pain. It's still a part of who we are. American culture.
Why do Black men act so like straight punks? Like how like females do, they have like a girl, he hurt me, girl. Like y'all, I'm pretty sure you girls have done that.
Yes.
Why do Black men have this like the white, basically he hurt me, girl, about whites, but he had never sit up there and talk about being a Black man's or being a victim to a Black man, which I'm pretty sure he has been. He had never say a Black man punked me out, a Black man did this, I lost a fight to a Black man, but he had never do it. But go ahead. Why is that? Go ahead, ladies.
Well, you will actually have to. I'm sure you know why they all sound very effeminate because these are the stories that they were told by their grandmothers and mothers, not from their dads and grandpas. And even if they did hear it from them, they got their stories from the matriarch. We already know why they sound like that. They're so whiny, and it's like they just. I get what you're saying because I was trying to put it into words too. It's like they're coming up off the pain off our backs. Like ew.
Yeah. What kind of man talks like this? Especially about something he didn't really go through. Let me see. Cliff says he should end his monologue with "You feel me?" Jesus Christ. Here we go.
Is Black culture. The problem is not only did we have to create it, but everybody else got to monetize it. We don't own major forms of media. So the message.
Well, why don't you? Why don't you own major forms of media?
That goes out to the world about foundational Black Americans is very lopsided. It's very negative. Even Frank said to Nancy, he said, well, what is your culture? Twerking? Negating the fact that twerking started in Africa.
Now that's true. I agree with him on that.
Mating rituals, things of that nature.
I don't agree.
I think twerking started in Africa.
No, I don't agree.
Really? You don't agree? I mean, the African woman was already walking around naked anyways.
I mean, I can acknowledge that, but however, I will want to say that I'm quite sure that it was. I don't know if it was like I don't know. I think that it was the sexualization of it came from here, and
you don't think when Ghanaian or Congolese women are shaking their booties, they're not. That's just a dance. You don't think that's sexual?
No, I don't think it was a dance. Right? I think it was. I don't know. Let me not even be funny, but I don't know. I kind of go. I kind of have my speculations of that.
Oh, okay. I'm listening to you. Here we go. Miguel, man, what's up, man? Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your super chat. Says, sir or sire is correct. The executives at Samsung and Hyundai all have gold grills and dreads. Don't be dumb, CT. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Samsung, Korea, Hyundai, if I'm not mistaken, is Japan. They're not walking around with gold grills, with dreads. They're not influencing the culture. Let me see. Sire says, y'all talk like every race is straight up nerds. That's not the point of the discussion, Sire. You gotta pay it. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to piss you off, buddy.
Tying of the hip, stop me when I go wrong. All of these things get put out as if that's who we are. And it's a very limited, very narrow-minded, very sore and very disingenuous snapshot of who we are, because we get put into killers, baby mamas, this and that and the other. And then when you look at how the media is weaponized, right? They'll take people throughout the diaspora and then put them on platforms and then bring them here. I'll give you an example. There's a show on CBS called Bob Hart's Abishola. And she said things that were much more incendiary than what Frank said. You know, oh, what is it? Gangbangers and baby mamas?
Crazy.
No. That energy is designed to keep us a certain way. And then when you talk about how the entertainment is weaponized, because that's the message, that's our largest export. It always has.
I hope I never, ever sound this weak. This is absurd. This is absurd, man. He said, we don't control the media. The media, they're sending out messages that we look a certain way. So what? So what? When we were kids, didn't we think Chinese people, all they did was do karate or kung fu? They didn't give a damn. They just went to school and did what they had to do, man. They didn't complain and bitch about it. Hey, man, y'all believe whatever y'all want to believe. We're still going to conquer y'all. Japrice, if I ever sounded like this, what would you think about me? Can't hear you, Japrice. Code Hunter with the $5 super chat. Africans can't teach FBA anything. They need to mind their own business.
Must be the money. I've got so much blame. Must be.
Code Hunter, what you don't understand, sir, or Colbert, they are minding their own business. And that's one of the reasons why they are going to win. That's one of the reasons why the Indians are going to win. FBA, this whole FBA thing is going to be in the dustpan of history, man. Republican, what do you think about this gentleman's comment right here?
Let's see. Yeah, I think this comes back to some of the jealousy. And CT, this has gone on for a long time. I remember when some like let's say black young lady, like friends of mine, when they would date, let's say a man from Nigeria.
Yeah, you
had Black American men really like kind of trying to drag the men from Nigeria or from any part of Africa, and they were jealous because what I found was that like they felt like those guys were harder working, and so the other black men felt like the black women were getting some type of like a better deal, and so they would be jealous. The fact that Frank is mentioning these things, he's actually talking. Frank is being honest about his part of Africa. Because he's a well-traveled man.
He really is.
I don't know why anyone can't look at this CT and say, "Hey, guess what? Information is information." And this man is really like he's spilling a lot of tea, and he's telling the truth. And this is good to know. I would use this information to. This should like. It should gird you. In other words, this should make you stronger. Knowledge is power. But black people love victimhood. Yeah. So this is not, this goes against everything. And I tell you, like I said, Dave, the more Dave talks, the more Dave is just a walking, talking point. And he knows all the hit for black Americans to keep them on his side.
Yeah. Sounds like a woman. You know, we got into it, right? Me and Dave before. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Colbert says white Americans will never replace FBA with any immigrants. They had a front row seat to our greatness, and they view them as others. What do you think about that one, Bob? What do you think about this super chat right here, Bob? Go ahead.
White Americans never replace FBA with any. White Americans will never replace FBA with any.
You're kind of.
I think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
As Jay is up there, I don't even think white people. Man, I don't think white people think about black people at all, man.
I kind of agree with you to a degree. Yeah.
I don't think they're even contemplating that. To white people, all black men look like Will Smith or Chris Rock. We've all been called that. They're not thinking about us. I just got up here for two reasons. Number one, I'm a little bit tired of you crapping on Harriet Tubman like she didn't exist.
Would you have smashed?
It's that you make me sound like.
No, I'm saying because you guys have this romantic view of this woman. I'm trying to figure out what is it like. Was she a great ancestor, relative, or was she some chick that you like? I mean, which one is it with you blacks? What is this infatuation with this woman? Go ahead, Bob. Would you have smashed? Or was she a great goddamn aunt of yours? Which one is it?
I like white. I like white women. I can't.
Okay, so you wouldn't have smashed. So which one is it, Bob? Go ahead.
The fact that you would say that she doesn't exist when you have no evidence either.
Hold on for a second. Colbert with the $5 super chat. Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson. Greatness they saw with their eyes, not immigrants. Again, you are naming athletes. That is not the pinnacle of civilization. It's athletes in sports. Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, buddy.
It really is not, man.
It's not. It's not.
It's embarrassing to put that up. Can you imagine another group putting up there? I mean, what? No. Genghis Khan. Go ahead. Or you're going to say something?
You're going to say Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't smash because I like white women. But the fact that you would even claim that she didn't exist when you have no evidence either, and I don't know, man. It's just wrong. She did a lot for us, or for them.
A lot for you. She didn't do nothing for me.
Okay, now I'm trying to include you in the fold, man. I know you get this tether thing a lot.
Bob, when's the last time a black woman took her ass outside in the cold to even get? Go ahead.
But what exactly are we benefiting from this said Miss Tubman?
I'm imagining the generations of black people that were free and were born in the North and lived lives that were a whole lot better than those blacks who were born in the South. But
right. But do you see the word you said? Imagine. So this is not even concrete information. So you would just have to just imagine she's a fictional character, and they painted her to look not very attractive.
Well, that's just black women though not being attractive.
Easy, Bob. Some of the most beautiful women on the planet are black. Bob. Yeah, let's be honest about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't think. Do you think I look? Do you think I look like Harriet Tubman? You think I could be like her?
You don't
her,
have
like,
to
great
ask him that.
great aunt.
Hold on a second.
I mean, her great niece.
Dupree's, that's nothing to argue about. Some of the top. I go into malls right now, and almost every damn advertising is a black woman. Bob, you're being ridiculous. But anyway, go ahead, Bob. Yeah.
All right, but enough with the Harriet Tubman fine. I just think that, man, like when you say MLK was shot because he was playing dice, I mean, that's funny. That's funny. I can imagine that.
Look at Negroes now. Look at it. He was only 39, Bob. You got Negroes now 40 and 50 shooting dice. Who just said that they weren't shooting dice and it was a shootout and they didn't want it to look bad for ops? Like the papers, they said it was a white man who did it. For all we know, him, Jesse Jackson and them, they just some YNs too shooting dice. You can't fool me just because these Negroes had on suits. Come on, Bob. I don't believe that for the life of me. Them Negroes were shooting dice, drunk, and maybe Jesse Jackson shot MLK. Stop, man. I don't believe none of it. Bob, listen. You can't convince me because a photo is in black and white and some Negroes are wearing some smarty arty suits that these Negroes were special. That's bullshit. Now, that Negro 2 years ago, he got killed in a dice game, Quavo or one of them, right? One of the rapping dudes. They're in their 30s. Well, they're the same types of blacks, right? I mean, are they different blacks, or are they the same type of blacks? Wow, I've seen it all my life. Who's to say MLK didn't get shot over a white woman?
Can we just imagine for a sec that MLK maybe had enemies that were very big and very organized, and it didn't come down to, hey, don't touch my dice.
It's a possibility,
I mean,
Bob,
but
that he may have had. Go ahead, Japrice. Go ahead, Japrice.
I was just gonna say, like, what would be the benefit of him, like, being shot though? That's what I was just trying to understand.
Hold on for one
Like,
second. Samuel says Bob is a functioning.
He always calls me
psychopath.
that.
He could
He always
be.
calls me that.
Colbert with the $20 super chat. Let me give you guys a must be the money. Shout out to you guys. Positivity.
Must be the Monday. Must be the Monday that's got them.
Colbert with the $20 super chat. Henry Ford watched George Washington Carver show him how to make the assembly line. Then all the white people saw George make dozens of products for peanuts and save the agriculture in America's bread basket. I don't know. I mean, you could be right about that. I don't know. What do you think, Bob? I keep hearing that about the assembly line. That could be true.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, okay. So look, I look at these people as Americans.
Yeah.
You pick and choose when you want to be black. You pick and choose when you want to be American. I get it. There was racial divide and all that stuff. These guys did something under incredibly difficult positions. Ultimately, I see those as American inventions, and I stay with that. But just look, this whole we crap really is annoying to me. And poor whites do this too. Their whole mantra is, I may be a poor white person, but at least I'm not black. Look what we created. Well, you really didn't do anything. I get a little tired of that.
Thank you so much again, Colbert.
Plus, I think that guy's a little bit kind of, I think he's kind of.
Who, Dave?
Or the guy with the glasses?
To a degree, any man. And I've gotten into it with Dave. I don't know him personally. I wouldn't attack his personal life, but to a degree, the idea of a man saying that he's a perpetual historical victim and his ancestors were buck-broken, that's very feminine to me. That's not what men do. Yeah. Because if that were the case, imagine the descendants of the victims of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, he just was torturing us. And it to me is real feminine. Men don't operate like that. Bob, if a black man beat up that guy right there, he wouldn't go around saying he's a victim of Tyrone. When's the last time a black dude, Republic Room, when's the last time a black dude got his ass beat by another black man? And went around saying, Tyrone, Taekwon beat me up and I'm a victim of him. He beat me up and he whooped my ass. And I ain't never heard a black man talk like that.
Wow. Yeah, not ever. They don't do it. Yeah.
They don't do it.
I don't know what
black man gets his ass beat, and if it's off camera, he won't even say nothing. My ass whooped. Come on, I got my ass whooped. Hey man, I heard you got your ass whooped. Man, no, it ain't happened to me, man. No, man. I saw you. Bob. Listen. These people don't believe I grew up around blacks. Bob, I've seen black dudes get mocked. And a week later, somebody will say, "Oh, you didn't do that to him." And you're like, "Man, that ain't happened to me, man. Well, I heard you got your ass whooped.
No,
how come you not a victim of that?" You ever notice that?
Sure.
Bob, yeah. This is a weird fixation. This big dumb Negro, Taz. Now this Negro about 6'10". He did a live stream about me yesterday. He's about 7 feet tall, talking about it's absurd for me not to believe in Harriet Tubman. I said, Taz, you think some 5 foot tall woman? If a 5 foot tall woman tried to save you now, you would laugh at her face. Taz, y'all sound crazy, man. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Well, CT, this is what I want to say. Now, like, I never heard that Harriet Tubman wasn't real, but what I would say is that I think that if she was a part of maybe a movement that probably included abolitionists. So, and maybe, for the sake of, I'm just not sure, but how about this? I also want to tell Miss Japrice, please never feel the need to make yourself look different. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, I'm doing my shopping, y'all. To say things like, well, am I this person when a black man like Bob says that black
No,
women are ugly and
no.
make fun of
Oh
black
my
women? Please
God!
don't
Don't even.
ever do
Oh,
that.
God.
I
Oh,
did need
come
to
on.
say
I
that.
was kidding. I don't.
Well,
No.
don't even kid like that because
No,
he's
yeah, I
serious.
like to joke.
Sorry.
No, no,
Right.
I don't care what. No,
But yeah,
no.
CP. Back to
CP,
that. I
tell
always
her.
thought that Harriet Tubman was real, but I do believe that I think she was. If she was, it was a part of a greater movement. That's what I think.
Look, it would be very good for intelligence purposes to have someone you don't think is going to be someone who's a leader. The fact that Harriet Tubman is small probably added to the fact that she was someone they probably would not be looking for. But the point is simply this, man. This we stuff it happens. You see white guys go over to Europe, they get treated bad by the French. They say if it wasn't for us, you would be speaking German. Well, you were born after World War II. You didn't do anything. I'm so tired of this we stuff. Chaotic. If my dad ever came home and said, you know, man, the director of the hospital was being mean to me because he's white and I'm black, I would lose instant respect for my father. He never did that, man. He went through some crap, but he never. I mean, no. So, yeah.
The hospital. I imagine your dad a renowned. Well, you've already said what your dad is, right? You don't mind me saying it, right?
Doctor, yeah.
Yeah, doctor, yeah. Your dad's a renowned doctor. The hospital administrator was being mean to me, Bob. I couldn't imagine this.
No.
Couldn't imagine. Like, Dad, what?
No. If I ever came home saying, you know, the flight training was hard because white people were not being good to me, man, he'd throw me through a wall.
Yeah,
It's just, yeah. But the victimhood brings in money. Victimhood is it's good content creation. A lot of guys actually think like that too.
Yeah.
But the we stuff, I'm sorry, that's my thing. The we stuff, and get the thing out your hair, man. You're what 45 years old. Get the bun out your hair, and would every nigga just shave for once?
Oh, wow, we gotta watch the inbound. I know you don't normally use it. Yeah, but go ahead.
I'll send you.
No. It's just yeah. I know you don't normally use it, but yeah, I want to keep this on public. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'll just time stamp it and take it out. Hang on. Go ahead.
I'll pay you for your labor. But can we just please bring? I don't know if we can bring back clean shaven people, please. All right. Every black man who shaves his beard, there's at least $20,000 worth of raise coming if you shave your beard.
Here we go. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Must be the money. Thank you so much.
Must be the money. Must be the money. That's
Chris with the $5 super chat. Did African slaves bring ideas of the Enlightenment, constitutional republics, and freedom from Africa infrastructure? How did they build? Of course not. Those were European concepts. Go ahead, Bob. Please go ahead.
I mean, look, being clean shaven is the way to go. It's the future. If you want to run society, you be clean shaven. Africans, well, I don't know if they can grow beards, but you know they don't have hair. But
some of them can.
Maybe JD Vance can get away with it because he looks like a pig if he doesn't have it. But for the most part, the year is 2025. Let's shave our beards, okay? No more shaving beard, and get the bun out your hair.
Dave Anderson Frank Zanu, the African, went over to Singapore for a conference.
Okay.
Dave Anderson will have you thinking, and other FBAs like him will have you thinking black culture is everywhere. I'm willing to bet Frank Zanu did not communicate, did not move, did not walk with any type of black American culture. He wasn't like black guys. We kind of I ain't gonna lie, I kind of walk like I'm cool sometimes. I walk like I'm accidentally bumping into people. Because I think I'm cool. I've never really sagged my pants, but I bet you Frank Zanu, every movement, his posture was trying to emulate a white man, like a high white man come on, man. These people that's what they don't understand about this. You can't communicate with black culture globally. It's not going to work, man. It's just not going to work, especially in these types of events. Dave Anderson, have you believing that black culture is in Davos? Japrice, are you familiar with Davos?
No, I'm not. No.
Bob, you know what? Can you explain what Davos is to Japrice?
It's essentially a week-long convention of sorts of the best and brightest, the richest, the most powerful men in the world and women in the world that get together and talk about what's going to happen throughout this year and things of that nature. Comes around in January. Very powerful.
I couldn't imagine black culture at Davos.
No, you're not going to see Diddy.
Thank you, man. You feel me? I'm like, you sound retarded when you talk. This is black culture.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. All right. Sorry about that. Here we go.
been. Our talent and our ability to entertain, but not capitalize on said entertainment. You can't point to one.
Give me a rail leader with a bun.
Major Black-owned record company. You can't point to one major Black-owned media outlet. You can't point to one major media or technological distribution center that is controlled, owned, and managed by foundational Black Americans.
Again, Dave, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? What stop? Go ahead.
Oh, he still looks at it as if, because he's still looking for Black men to be given something. And this is kind of, Japrice, I wanted to say to you when you said that some of this is passed down by the matriarch, the Black woman. No, this is Black women are just following what Black men have always said that they haven't gotten or received from other men. So it's not the Black woman passing this down to Black men. If anything, Black women are like, Hercules, you can do it. You are this. And Black men are like, no, but we can't. We need you to stop and let us lead. So no, Dave he's hitting all the points that Black men have passed on, actually, that they can't do it because of another man. And I don't know how Dave thinks he's sounding. And to me, I don't know if he looks at this and after he's talked to me, after talking to Frank for about 3 conversations, I would be rethinking my whole existence. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
So the message of foundational Black America.
Go ahead.
Republic Room. I don't know how you do it, but if we were talking about Russia and Ukraine, somehow or another, you're going to find Black men at fault. How is it you do that?
Oh, Bob, stop it. I was listening to Japrice made a comment about these things, this Black male with this weakness and the comments they make about them being weak were passed down by Black women. No, it's actually Black men. And you've been on enough panels to understand that, Bob. So stop.
No, well, kind of, sort of, but what I was really saying is they sound whiny and complaining is because they heard the whining and complaining from their mama.
Somehow it's Black men's fault.
I'm not sure because whining and complaining isn't necessarily a female thing. There are men who whine and complain.
Yes, it is. Well, yeah.
So you're saying that only women whine and complain and men do not?
Well, that it will only be acceptable if it was coming from a woman.
No, to me, it's acceptable in this community coming from Black men because they've done it for so long, and so they're coddled. So I would say it's disgusting when it comes from men. I think it's. I mean, it depends on what the woman is complaining about.
You're proving my point.
No, I'm not proving your point. I'm saying that Black men get on here every day talking about how they're victims and how they're underfoot other men. So, and listen, Frank Zanu is going to prove this anyway. And these 4 Black men on this panel who Frank shall dominate, you'll see. This is not. They're all Black men. None of this. They didn't necessarily learn this from women. This is African American Black male culture. They see themselves as victims.
Americans that gets out is not our message, and I completely reject that. If that's what you think the culture is, I am here to tell you that ain't my culture. It ain't never been my culture. It ain't been the culture of most of my brethren. Do we have some knuckleheads? Absolutely. Of course we do. But do we also have things like COINTELPRO we've still had to overcome? Do we have things like the 94 Biden-Clinton crime bill that we've had to overcome? And throughout history, I have yet to see anybody from any of those 54 countries come back for their brothers that they say that they love so much. I don't remember the warships coming to get us. I don't. But what I do see is, oh, well, we're really good at educating. We take the opportunities and we're able to, go and take these American opportunities that you guys squander. Yeah, because you get an immigrant experience. You do not get the foundational Black American experience.
Bob, you are I know you don't. I know you don't live your life by this, but do you and him have the same foundational Black American experience? Because you're a foundational Black American, yes.
I'm not a foundational Black American.
Okay, but your family has been here for hundreds of years, so you would be considered one under their namesake. But do you have the same experience as him? Because I'm confused. Do you share the same experience, or how did your dad manage to become a medical doctor in the 60s?
because his father would have kicked his butt when he was young if he came up with any excuses. His mother loved him, my grandmother, and they were married. And no, my grandmother is not white. He came from a 2-parent household where they didn't accept any of that bull crap. No, okay, let's hear it.
I didn't say anything.
No, brother, I saw
grandmother. I didn't say anything.
No,
Sorry.
When I mention my grandmother, you always go down that road.
No,
just
I'm
'cause she
gonna
was
be
light-skinned.
respectful. I apologize. I should have said that.
Oh, it's out there now. You think because
Blonde
she has
hair,
black hair and
green
green eyes?
eyes.
I mean, come
sound
on,
like a white woman
no.
to me, but
There
go
were
ahead.
plenty of black women that could. There were plenty of black women that could pass as white. My grandmother was one. The point is, he came from a 2-parent household. If he did wrong, he got spanked by everybody in the housing complex. The reason why my dad is successful, aside from his own desire to be better, is because he had good parenting. It just comes down to that, man. You get spanked when you're young, you're destined to not be arrested and live around black people. I'm Bob, and I support this message.
You get the same immigrant talk that the Russians get, and the Russians got a lot of nerve because if it wasn't for Alexander Pushkin, they'd still be speaking French. Alexander Pushkin created the Russian language. He was a black man. So,
I didn't know that.
Talking with your hands too. Yeah, he was.
Wow.
He was mixed.
Wait a minute.
He was mixed.
What? Wait a minute. Did any of you guys know that Russia was created by a black man? Is that true? Is that true?
He wasn't created. No.
Please give me the year. TJ, give me the year. I mean, this is.
Give you the. I'm learning about this just as much as you guys are learning about it.
Pushkin was
Russian was created by a black man. No shit.
No, he was part black. He wasn't full. No.
Wait a minute. Russian was created by a black man. I had no idea.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was. He. Why don't you know what, man?
Did you know that? Did you know Russian was created by a black man, Japrice?
No,
I didn't know that.
That's a new one.
Wow. Go ahead, Bob.
No, these black people that talk about we invented everything. What's that success? What's that thing? Success has many fathers, failure is an orphan. Why don't they ever talk about all the bad crap that's happened around the world? Why don't they own that?
Speak Radio with the $5 super chat. If Republic Room could get away with it, she'd smother her black male patients with a pillow. Another FBA show, CT, do better. Is this true, Republic Room? Would you smother your FBA patients? Yes.
No, but I'm guessing he got that from the black matriarch that he thinks that would happen. Yes, again, black men, it's always this, whenever you have an opinion or observation, they just go with, you just hate the black man. So no, I don't smother black male patients. And this just goes to show how this is their mindset. It's very childlike and it's victim.
It is very childlike.
Republic, you don't have
everyone else's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Republic, you don't have observations. You have a narrative about black men. I mean, you have
It's not a narrative. This is rooted in truth. It's rooted in truth.
Right.
When's the last time anyone ever heard Republic say good things about black men?
Bob, didn't Bob CT? There was a black model who you showed this, and the lady was so cute. She was cute as a button. Bob said she looked like. Can I say the SH word? CT?
Yeah.
She looked like a shit stain. The model.
I hope you didn't say that, Bob. Jesus Christ.
He did say it. Bob
I don't remember saying that, but that sounds like something. That sounds like something I say.
Right, exactly.
That sounds like something I say.
Anyway, Bob, you listen.
Did it ever dawn on you?
Many of your super chats, and we'd see the same. So stop.
Did it ever dawn on you?
The same thing nice about black men, Bob. It's not about me needing the same thing nice. You can make comments about black women, and I'll just make comments about the black community and black men. Okay.
Did it ever dawn on you that I looked at her as an individual, not as a member of a group? That she's an individually unattractive black woman? Did it ever? You need to think about that. Number two, I have no problem with it. I have no problem at all saying I have a narrative against black people and black women. You act like you're making observations. Horse crap. Can I say that? You look at black men and you say,
horse crap. We're not Bob. It is horse crap.
You say you don't like
men. So do you. And so do you. You have the same opinions about black men, Bob. You just don't want to be counted in that. That's your issue.
The Republic, though, I can discuss China and Taipei. I can discuss Euclidean geometry. I can discuss quantum physics and not bring up black women. You will find in any type of conversation to bring up a black man and say they had something to do with it. It's amazing how you do it.
Speak Radio says you got a white man. Why the hell
right?
do you care?
They created and invented everything. So anyway, thank you, CT. Okay, listen.
All right, let's get back to the video. Here we go. Thank you so much, Speak Radio.
So when you talk about where we are and where we've been, you also have to talk about the mind screw, out of respect for your channel, that we have been put under. So no, we don't have an official language because we weren't allowed to have one. But still, if you look at AAVE, it's everywhere, and when it comes out of our mouth, it goes from the hood.
I mean, I know. I can't get Bob. The man said that he's under a mind spell. Bob, you could never brainwash. I don't know. Maybe I was just a special kid. You couldn't brainwash me as a kid. I'm sorry. You couldn't brainwash me to believe in certain things. Maybe, again, man, maybe this is what makes me a Negro whisperer, man. But some white living in a trailer, growing up, when somebody said whites are better, I said, you can't sit here and tell me that this white is better than me. I just always had that view. You can't sit here. Well, you know, as a black man, as a black, what are you talking about? Bob, this man said that he's under a spell from white. Think about what this man is talking about. This is why Frank Zanu don't even have to talk. He can just sit back and listen to this dude. Go ahead, Bob.
SOB Zach tried to tell you about, you and I are stopped by the cops. And I like what you said. You said, wait, hold on. I wouldn't be having drugs. I wouldn't be having an illegal gun. This would never happen to me. And it's lost on people like that who only think of identity with racial classifications, that there are a lot of people out there with brown skin who are not wake up in the morning worried about going to jail or doing anything crazy like that. And they're not going to be treated bad because we're not doing anything wrong.
Because I have never gotten pulled over, like not once, all of my 16 years of driving.
Well, Japrice,
you're kind of hot though.
That's a different thing. I've never seen pretty women pulled over.
No, neither has my brother, and my brother is 29. He's 2 years
Japrice,
old.
you
29.
can't be that naive to believe that. Japrice,
I'm here to tell you.
I hate to break it to you, Japrice. A pretty female could literally walk up to somebody and blow their brains out. They probably won't get arrested.
That means nothing.
Okay. 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 Go ahead, Japrice. Tell us how you've never gotten pulled over because you followed the law like we have. Go ahead, Japrice. Go ahead, Japrice.
I think what the point that I was trying to make is that we just know how to just obey the law. I don't know. I haven't done anything to where I need to get pulled over.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten. Okay, you know what? I did get a parking ticket, but that was it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Japrice. Thank you. Here we go.
Republic, you get pulled over.
Easy. See,
I'm joking.
She's not gonna take it as a joke. Jesus Christ.
To the boardrooms, to a billboard on Broadway or in Times Square. So we have culture, we have influence, and no, I'm not just talking about taking what's the word I'm looking for? Weeds and turning them into collard greens, or taking innards and turning them into chitterlings. I'm talking about the fact that we have persevered and we are the most copied individuals on the planet.
What is this man talking about? Hey, Bob, let me ask you, when you are in the cockpit, are you and your co-pilot, are you a captain now? You're a captain? Mm-hmm. Are you in the co-pilot emulating black culture in the cockpit before you guys take off on the plane?
No.
Okay. Where is he? Okay. When do you emulate black? I'm trying to figure this out. When is black culture copied and pasted?
I think I would say this, and it's probably even worse. I think he's correct, but he's correct with the youth. He's correct with younger people. He's correct with the immature of the world, if you will.
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse that the immature of the world look at black culture as the most sought after immature culture to look at. But no, in the daily parlance of the world economy, no one's thinking about black culture. No one is.
Yeah.
And this is an American problem. People think that because it happens in America, it's got to be, you know, the world cares.
Yeah.
There are a billion people in China that don't care that you can get your EBT card.
Nah.
I don't care.
Gibby says, tell the white man on the panel called Bob, likely pseudonym, to stay out of FBA business. Bob, stay out of FBA business. Sire says CT just bought a passport a few months ago. Y'all, he is small-minded. I bought a passport a few months ago. Right. You could be right. Here we go.
So much so, if I'm wrong, please explain Akon to me. Please explain Burna Boy to me. They all do.
It always goes back to entertainment. It never goes back to industrialization. I sent you the link, BD. Check it out. I sent you the link. I sent you the link.
It never does. It never does.
It never does. It never goes to any real world or anything practical with keeping the real going around.
Variation of who we are, and I'm not just talking about music. I'm talking about the walk. I'm
Yeah,
talking about the talk.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that like Black people think that as you said, they always bring up like entertainment or whatever and whatnot, and they act like it's so exclusive, or they act like it's not easy to replicate. Like it doesn't take rocket science for you to learn a 1-2 step, or to try to sing a lyric, or I don't know. It's not that hard. It doesn't take actual brains to do so, in my opinion.
I'm talking about the hairstyles. I'm talking about the innovation. Everything we do. We took a construction worker's boot and made it the hottest item for the past 40 years because everybody.
Is he talking about Timberlands?
That's
Timberlands. But you know how they pronounce it, Timberlands. He's talking about Timberlands.
That's the accomplishment.
What in the hell is this man talking about, man? I see why he wanted
Black talking point.
What in the hell is he talking about?
It's embarrassing.
Everybody finds a way to profit off of what we create and then demonize us for creating it, and then label us criminals, uneducated, unwilling. We don't care, but they don't talk about all the systemic things that have been set up and profited by people who want to keep us in a certain box. That doesn't mean we can't escape that box, but to act like we were not put under duress for what we had to put together as a culture when everybody else got to inherit it. And that includes Haitians, Jamaicans, everybody else got to be left alone so that they can develop. We didn't have that. And to this day, I have yet to meet one African, one Jamaican, one Caribbean, one Black person anywhere who comes into this country and has automatically ingrained in them before they start going, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing, that they're afraid when the red and blue lights come on.
Can you imagine, Bob? Bob? No. It's the year 2150. You're on a flight to Mars, or you're on by then, hopefully we have space travel. You have these people on a damn on a flight to Mars talking this crazy stuff.
I cannot imagine a low-cost spaceship airline that has to stop over in Mars because some niggas got in a fight in the fuselage. I'm sorry.
I'm just timestamping.
That's two. That's two. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I mean, can you imagine a Spirit Airlines of the solar system, and we have to make an emergency stop in Mars when we're going to Neptune because a couple of Black people are fighting?
We're talking crazy.
Yeah.
Talking about Harriet Tubman, you going to what's that moon on Saturn with the water?
Europa?
I think it's Titan, right? Titan.
Yeah.
I think it's Titan.
It's not Titan, it's Europa. Europa is the ice cube.
You go into Europa and you got to be on a flight with somebody talking like this. You'd be like, God, what are you talking about? We're on a flight to Europa.
And then saying that our people built this stuff. Egyptians were going to Neptune back.
What is he talking about?
Behind them when they're pulled over. And I get it. And I'm the son, brother, and nephew of cops. That's why I say, yes, we have a culture, but of course we don't have a language. But let's not be disingenuous and act like it doesn't matter, because it does. Because as foundational Black American goes, so goes everybody else in society. So
this dude is insane, man, if he believes that.
Frank, let me ask you a question. If slavery erased our Black Americans' culture, what do you call what we built after slavery? What do you call that?
Well, you have to give me an example of what you mean by what we build. What are you referring to?
See, this is what I was saying earlier about Frank Zanu. He's not operating in the same ball. What's up, Afrodamus? He's not operating in the same ballpark as them. They are operating in you know what I'm saying thing. Then another Negro will say, "Yeah, man, I feel you, my nigga." He's an intelligent guy. What did you build? Well, he's gonna ask probing questions because that's what high intellects do, Bob. So that's what he asked. Well, what did you build? So I wonder what these gentlemen are gonna say. Here we go.
You tied culture back to African and something that you inherit, but you said that got erased during slavery, but we built something. Clearly, Black Americans have built throughout slavery and the culture that we have.
What did you build? What did you build?
Currently,
what I'm asking is, give me an example so I'll be able to respond to that particular thing.
Well, like things like gospel.
Oh my God. Bob, I didn't even watch this whole thing. I'm telling you, man, this is sad, man. I'm helping these people out. Shut up talking. Gospel. Japrice, you invented gospel music. That's the height of your civilization.
Oh wait, I just want to ask really quick. Is this all happening in the same room? Like the guy with the
in the same room. They're in the same room, yeah.
Oh, the guy with the bun and the other gentleman.
A gun? What are you talking about?
No, he has a bun in his head.
Oh, a bun. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of gospel music, who is your favorite gospel artist of all time?
If I'm going to keep it real and be honest, she's actually a Nigerian. Her name is Mercy Chinwo.
I kind of want to kick you up out of here, Japrice. I know we don't kick women out of here. A Nigerian, God, damn, what?
Yeah,
it sounds like to me that they're having two different conversations. You can't build culture. Culture is a concept. It's an aspect. It's not something tangible like a building. So if we getting into that conversation, it's two totally different conversations. Like the Africans, let me put it like this: the sub-Saharan Africans didn't build anything, just like the foundational Black Americans didn't build anything. So they both two sides of the same coin at the end of the day. You wonder why all the Africans come to America is because the African countries, the sub-Saharan African countries, all have weak civilian governments, and the military controls most of their countries. The civilian governments don't have control of their militaries. This is why they're so susceptible to coups all the time. Every year, a sub-Saharan African country is having a coup. First, it was Guinea-Bissau. Now it's Benin. Like next week, it'll be Sudan. You know what I'm saying? Like every week, it's a coup in sub-Saharan Africa because the civilian populations there can't control their militaries.
See, CT, can I come in, please?
Yeah, but real quick before you do Afrodamus, thank you so much, BD. Japrice, my favorite gospel.
Yes.
They're not. It's Mary Mary. It's Mary Mary. I love Mary.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. I grew
Mary,
up.
Mary.
I grew
Mary,
up
Mary.
listening to it when my mom played it in the car. Yeah.
My mom used to play like old school gospel singers. I kind of wanted we had like a Mercury Villager when we were kids. Every time she would play that old school, it's like an old school van that's like the sliding door.
Oh,
I kind of wanted to open that door up and just jump out. And listening to that old school gospel shit, I said, God damn, I hate this music. Yeah. But then when Kirk Franklin came out, I was like, okay, I can listen to this. I can listen to that. But Bob, it's the truth, man. That music, it was just, I can't listen to all that. It's nice. It's just not for me. I'm more devilish. Go ahead, Afrodamus. Go ahead, buddy.
CT, thank you for having me up here. And yesterday you showed up, you saw me, breaking this down. If you look at it, with these FBAs, what they are trying to do is they have this main character syndrome. Okay. They think that Frank is saying that the Africans are better than them. Frank is proving that. Okay, how are you people saying you have all these skills to be builders? Okay, for example, with white people, we can prove that they can build. It's innate in them. They can do this. So he's saying, you guys came from sub-Saharan Africa, like the gentleman is saying here, right? You came from sub-Saharan Africa, where is the black factory majority. And people are not doing these things that you are claiming that you are doing. So he's proving to you that that is in fact not true. This is why he's asking the question. It's like asking a lion to dig a foxhole. He's not saying you cannot learn to build. That's not what he's saying. But he's saying your origin, where you came from, you don't build. You were brought here as farm tools to work in the farms, to grow cotton, to collard green, rice, tobacco. Yeah. That's what you were brought here to do. You were doing that, in sub-Saharan Africa, just like the skills was available. And he's also making the point that it's not, it's not proof that, because Africans didn't industrialize has something to do with lack of intelligence. It's just the need. The need wasn't there. The need was not there. They're not worried about we're not worried about the water freezing. You got the fruits available. You can get your food, no problem. So that's what he's saying. Accept who you are. Stop inventing all these things and coming up with all different kind of excuses. I built this, I built that. And he's asking questions because blacks were brought here. If you're brought from sub-Saharan Africa, from different tribes, and you no longer have your language. We know that we have languages, ethnic groups, but you can't speak these languages anymore. So that means you are stripped of your actual culture. The people you put together with, the blacks, now you call yourself the blacks, you did not come from the same background. You are not the same people. So, the DNA doesn't lie. This is why you look at, blacks are forced together. They don't like each other because it's not the same groups of people. The only thing that united you was being slaves. And now slavery is over. That's why you don't like each other. You go to South Sudan. In Sudan, they used to enslave those Africans there in Sudan. And they united to fight against those Arabs. Once they won slavery, they're no longer slaves. Now they became themselves. They started fighting each other. So that's just normal. Once you're free, you go back to being who you are. That's the point Frank is making. But you got, the Mr. Ponytail, proving Frank's point. They can't explain what the culture is. I guess now the culture is, victimhood, crying about everything, which is what that Dave guy is doing. He's not doing you guys the justice. And you are mad that we are able to observe this. It's not, people are not being malicious. Our eyes are not lying. Our ears, we can't pretend like we're not seeing this. It's right in front of us. But if we don't go along, now all of a sudden we are white supremacists. And that's another thing. You always invoke your inferiority to white people. And when we don't go along, we are called white lovers. Yes, I love white people. I love all people.
Okay.
Hold on.
But,
I'm sorry. Hold on, Bob. Hold on, Bob. I know you're about to ask him a question. Give me a second. No, Bobby Perkins says, "Hey, Ephraim, what brand deodorant you use?" Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Cheetah P.
Dirty Dude with the $5 super chat. Why has nobody brought up the striking resemblance between John Galt and Brian Cole Jr.? And he's from DC. Just saying a DNA test may be needed. Bob says Aphrodite is cool, but when he talks, it makes me feel like I'm in a cab in Newark, New Jersey. And Gimpy with the $10 super chat. I'd like more of the white man on the panel's opinions, please. Mr. Bob, sir, tell us what we can do to solve this FBA issue. Bob, you wanted to address this and also ask Aphrodite a question. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I was messing around Aphrodite, but New Jersey has a lot of Africans and they all talk like that. All right, this foundational black man.
About that.
All right, Like I say, imagine if there was a group called Foundational Shortmen, and they talked about constantly in society how they were overlooked, they were beat down, they were given bad jobs, they couldn't get women.
You said overlooked.
Yes, overlooked, no pun intended, or pun intended, however you want to take it. And imagine you being a guy who's of short stature and you don't wake up in the morning thinking about you're short, and someone says, well, you do realize you're a foundational short man. And you ask yourself, I don't even know how to think in that mode when well, you think you're tall because you don't identify as a foundational short man. These tall people are making fun of you. These tall people don't listen to you. And you're wondering, I don't know how to even talk to people like this because my mindset is not thinking constantly about my height. That's why I look and I say, Bob, you're a foundational black man or foundation. No, I'm not. I don't think like that, man. You're drawing me into a category that I don't even identify with, because to think like that is to think very small. A bunch of short guys running around looking at another short guy saying, you need to join our group or you need to remember who you are, would be absolutely hilarious. And that's the same way I look at these FBAs. It's absolutely hilarious.
To
Well, the
be
problem
to
is,
be FBA.
Oh, sorry,
to be
guys.
F-
Sorry, guys. Savage with the $10 super chat. The Timberland boot that blacks wear is not a boot for construction. The only people who wear those are on job sites. The only people who wear those on a job site are hood blacks that are trying to be stylish. They are not good for your feet. They're not, and they don't have the metal steel. Yeah, so that's why.
Steel toe.
Yeah, I learned steel toe. Thanks. I couldn't. Yeah, thank you so much, BD. I had to learn the hard way, working one time like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, like imagine being a short guy being up there saying, well, we short guys in history, we invented this, we invented that,
Yeah. Hey, Bob, do you know Ricky Smiley?
Yeah.
He said that he did a joke, man, which I thought was really funny. He said that there was a short man's choir and their favorite song was you're not too short to praise the Lord or something. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I think we will all be better off if we stop
FBA
putting
is to be
each other
controlled.
in boxes.
To
Everybody want to
be
put everybody else in a box. I'm an FBA. I'm an African. I'm a white. I'm a this. I'm a that. Everybody want to group everybody. You know what? All of y'all keep y'all boxes. I'll keep my box and you keep your box. Stop trying to put me in your box. I like to have my own box.
Well, the truth of the matter is, if you look at it here in America, right?
Go ahead,
I mean, it's the freest country on this side of heaven. Okay, so you've got a group of people who are hell bent on not being free mentally. They still think they are slaves, but they are not only they don't like their way of thinking, their condition, and they are miserable. So now they want other people to join them in their misery. They want to force you to join them. It's like these people are so lazy, they don't even take the time to learn that there's different countries in Africa, there's different ethnic groups in Africa. So whose fault it is that you're running around ignorant, and then the ignorance that you are living by, people are not, like when you meet somebody, they don't live up to that expectation. You are mad at them and calling them names. That's insane. This is what these FBAs are doing, trying to force all, skin black people to say we are all one. Like the guy with the ponytail said, why didn't the Africans come and get us? Which Africans? What are you talking about? It's like the people are coping to say, oh, we were snatched. No, you were sold. It's called the Atlantic slave trade for a reason. Different items, umbrellas, Hennessy, rum. I mean, they were the chiefs and kings. They were using people back then, as money. That's what they were doing.
I got to run
right quick. Aphrodamus, I got to run too. I just want to ask Aphrodamus a question real quick before I go. Aphrodamus, my question to you is this. Why every time an American asks an African where they from, they say they're African?
I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for all Africans, but if you ask me, I would tell you straight my country I never say Africa, because I know that Africa is a continent. And the Africans, majority of Africans that I know, when you ask them, they will tell you their country. But over time, Africans are forced a program to call them, people from the continent, to call themselves African, because I'll tell you why they tell you this, because that's their way of, treating you like a remedial person. Like, okay, these people are slow. They think Africa is a continent, so we'll just say Africa. That's what it is. Because if they tell you some country, you wouldn't even know what it is. So to make it easy, the conversation to swoop by, they just say Africa.
So you're saying they just assume that we don't know that there are 54 countries in Africa, the majority of folks?
It's not an assumption, it's a fact.
Okay, by the way, all these countries are carved up by white empires anyway. So you guys arguing over these different lines is kind of funny too. CT, when they invent a warp drive, man, that can go warp 10, if someone says, by the way, the guy who invented that was 5'4", I'm just going to throw up. That's how I look at FBAs. It just, they're out there. Got to run. Love y'all. See y'all.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Right. I got to run too, CT. I see you later.
Thank you so much, buddy. Republic Room, the Negro said gospel music. Frank Zanu asked him, well, what did you build? Because that kid is probably used to talking to other people in his peer group. Frank Zanu was at a different ballpark here. He said, what did you build? Republic Room, he said gospel music. Go ahead, Republic Room.
And Cece, like, I can't wait to when you start this video back. I would say again, it's one of those things. It's something
kind of breaking up there.
Although it's like, oh no, CT, can you hear me now?
How about this? Yeah, try it now. Yeah.
Okay, is this a little better?
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, all right. I'm back in Texas. Okay, so this is what I would say. This first of all, the favorite gospel song is Elvis Presley, "Great Thou Art." That's really beautiful. It will make you cry. But again, this using things like music and entertainment and clothing and wearing and even the rebelliousness of how a piece of clothing was designed. Black people will do it wrong just to say we created it. Like sagging a pant. That's not that. I mean, like, you're not the designer of the jean of the pant, but because you wear it sagging, or because you wear your shoes with the laces untied, that somehow becomes black. I think that's literally that's what it sounds like. But thank you.
Thank you so much. Here we go.
So I'll be able to respond to that particular thing.
Well, like things like gospel is something that we built after slavery.
Okay.
Songs and music,
the foods that we eat, that we consume.
Sure, songs and music exist in every society.
Jesus Christ, man, this is like Afrodamus. This is bad, man. This is bad. This is like those four sitting down are like Stone Age humans talking to a modern human being. Like, it's not a compatible conversation. This kid said gospel music and this type of food we eat. Like, what the fuck do other people on the planet? Other people on the planet don't eat stuff? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
CT, what I'm seeing is, right, it seems like truly like, okay, they might not have chains around these people, whatever, but like white liberals know that these people are remedial, so they prop them up, over time. So I have witnessed it where, it's like black. I used to go to these meetings and stuff, and when I start speaking logic, it's always a white liberal that runs interference. Don't let me talk. It's like they promote them to continue this ignorance in an echo chamber. So now they believe their own BS because they've told themselves this for so long, and then now, the internet opened the gate. So they are out here, trying to bring this to the world, and is backfiring. Remember Clayton Bixby okay, this is like Clayton Bixby, he was black. blind kid, right? They told him he was white so he can fit in. But you see, when Clayton Bixby went into the world, and they started telling him he was in black, white.
Yeah,
his handler didn't want even the people to know, right? That's what is happening when Clayton Bixby started talking for himself, thinking that he is in fact white, but people are looking at him like, "No, you are not white. We can see you." He eventually had to accept it. So these people are the same way. They've been telling themselves these things in their echo chamber. Other white liberals, prop them and tell them, "Yeah, sure, this is happening." Now they're sitting in front of people and spewing this, especially because they want to feel like they're above Africans, right? But they're learning that that's not real, and it's breaking them down. That's what you're seeing.
All right. Let me read this. Thank you so much, man. Righteous Muffin with the $20 super chat. Your poll is asking, who should FBAs look to? A turd sandwich or a douche sandwich? They are both terrible and will get them nowhere. That is very, very racist, Righteous Muffin. Shame on you. But shout out to your super chat. Here we go.
Is that not a part of culture?
No. Let me come to that. And first, let me make a little response to David's assertion that we were not allowed. So, in Benin or Ghana or Nigeria, you pick any of the 54 countries in Africa, right? If you had gone into a Yoruba tribe, which is now part of Nigeria, they would speak Yoruba. Now, when we were put together forcefully as countries, today, my nieces and nephews can't even speak my language properly. And the French and English, they can't even speak it properly. Because in one classroom, you have 36 kids who come from different tribes in that classroom. So they can only use English or French or Spanish or Portuguese to teach this myriad of tribes now who don't speak their language anymore. African Americans were not prevented from speaking their language. When the ship arrived, it was one from this tribe, that tribe, that tribe, that tribe. So automatically you can speak to each other. And when you don't speak your language for a while, like I've been outside Africa now, going 40 years. If I meet any of my uncles and I start to try to speak my language, I'm interfered by English constantly, and I can't finish it. I can't make a coherent sentence in my own language because
Righteous Muffin says, I would never be racist, sir. This is a blood libel. Here we go.
At school, you could not use that language because you are now a bucket of different languages. The same thing happened here. You were brought as a shipload of different languages. That is why Creole and Patois were created. So you use the only word you can understand, a little bit of the colonizer or whoever is controlling you, and try to speak to someone who comes from Senegal. You don't know what he speaks. So over time, it becomes this hodgepodge of a language called Creole or Patois. In Sierra Leone, they have it. In Liberia, they have it. In Nigeria, they have the Pidgin English because they can't speak to each other. So nobody prevented.
Savage, I read your super chat. We actually talked about it, actually. I read your super chat. There we go.
It's you. All you need is not to use your language because there is no one there to speak to, and the next generation, it's gone. The Jews, however, it was Jews. They took them as Jews. Even though they went from country to country to country, they were lucky enough to keep talking to each other because they can understand each other. So they were able to retain the language. This is my starting point. It happened to us on the country.
Savage said he sent 2 super chats. Here we go. Let me find the other one. I don't see the other one. Oh, Savage with the $10 super chat. Timberland makes a boot that is for construction. It's called the Pro, and it's not stylish, and it's to double the price of the stylish ones. Oh, I had no idea. Look at that. I had no idea. I haven't worked that kind of job in a long time, so I wouldn't know. Here we go.
Continent. So don't be fooled. You hear countries like Nigeria, Ghana. If you ask 5 Ghanaians, one from the Ashanti, one from the Ewe, the Ga, the Akwamu, and the northern region, and ask them, Are you Ghanaians? Yes, we are Ghanaians. Look at our passport. Ask them, what is Ghanaian culture? And they'll start looking at each other. There is no such thing. Ask them, what do you speak in Ghana? They'll start looking at each other. Ask them, what is the Ghanaian sense of value? There's no such thing. How do you guys marry in Ghana? There is no such thing. But you say you're Ghanaians. So what
I think this is, you watched the whole thing, Afrodamus. So I could only guess that this probably went over the four of their heads. They probably know what he was talking about, right?
No, because they're just sitting there, they're waiting, they're not listening, they just want to bring the Negro talking points because what they're hearing, completely contradicts their self-concocted story they've been telling themselves. I mean, these are people who would literally argue with someone like me as an African when I tell them, no, we're from different ethnic groups. But they were, but why don't you all just be one? But sir, I'm a different ethnic group. I don't know that person's language. It's a different culture. We're just in the same territory, but we are not the same. It's like telling a Vietnamese person, why aren't you one and the same as Chinese? Speak Chinese. You're like, the Vietnamese, like, but I'm Vietnamese. I don't know Chinese. It's different. So they're not listening to this. All they are seeing is you're black, we black. So therefore, everybody in the black factory, why you guys should be like us.
Yep.
They're not getting the logic here.
No, they're not. There we go.
happened to us happened here. And when I arrived here, I understood it. When I went to Haiti, I was like, whoa. When I went to Jamaica, the same thing. So when I said, I was only speaking here, so I said African Americans, I would have said the same thing about my own countries in the continent. We have no culture.
Yeah, but from that video, what I got from it is you put Haitians on a pedestal.
I didn't.
Let me real quick. Blue Baggers with the $5 super chat. Why does the African on the screen and the one in the red hat keep trying to say FBAs do or don't do? You are not like us. yeah, you got that part right. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, see, CT. Again, these guys, they are in their feelings. So we heard a short clip of Frank talking about you can identify who Haitians are when you meet them, meaning you can say this is their culture. So he's saying, you see how he interpreted it? He interpreted it as